I'm joined by Wayne Brasher and Gavin Casey. Gents, how good is it to be at our second game of local footy, Brash? And Gav, you first for a long time.
Yeah, and I'm real happy to be here again, and even exceptionally happy to be here and part of history with a new club joining our Premier Division this year, and looking forward to how Berwick acquit themselves this afternoon, Gav. Gav?
Yeah, it's 20 months since I've ventured out to a football ground to watch a football game live.
And you've come out here.
And it was a long drive. Needed to hydrate. And I just wonder, we're talking with Brash in the car. It's about a 30 to 50 minute drive, depending where you come
depending
from.
on where you live.
And so hydration, it might just be a road trip. Hard to handle for some clubs.
Well, especially, I don't know where you two are coming from. I'm luckily in Ringwood, probably at a midpoint. But if you're coming from Balwyn or Blackburn or even Doncaster and Doncaster East, it's going to be one of those drives that hopefully they plan well ahead and get here on time, Brash. It could be a bit of a controversy, couple of games starting late.
Well, you better pack a cut lunch then.
Exactly, mate.
Bring it with you, because I was getting a bit hungry.
Noble Park, though, they will have enjoyed it. They'll just pop down the road.
Yeah. Don't know if Doncaster or Balwyn will enjoy the drive down.
No, Balwyn. No, I don't think anyone from Balwyn will have been this far out, southeast.
No.
So far, Berwick have actually played 2 games in the competition now. Their women's side beat South Belgrave Listerfield by 29 points, and their under-19s started very slowly in going down to Noble Park's 19s, but did actually finish strong and I think won the last 3 quarters. So good signs for the Wickers there, and also the Bulls, who won the 19s, and the reserves have just started. We're probably going to be starting later than usual, looking at about a 2:30 start in the seniors, so plenty of pre-game action, which is good, Brash, and let's dive straight into it. Let's go. Premier Division's back, Brash, the pinnacle of local football in Victoria, in Australia, I'm going to say. I'm sure there's a couple of competitions around that'd have a fair stake at it, but we're biased, of course, and it's just so great to have the pinnacle back. A special mention, though, goes to Marcus Alessi, who's been named in the Doncaster reserves after battling brain cancer in 2020. So there's a special day for him running out in the twos, but how good's it to have Premier Division football back?
I think it's really important, to be honest with you, Matt, because, you know, the cold hard facts are it's the Premier Division is a division that you're promoting. All the best sides want to be winning it, and also the thing is, it's what brings the advertising dollars in for the...
Wow.
And
I don't know what you know, Brash, but no, you're right, though. It is what sponsors do want to be aligned with, is that pinnacle of footy. Of course, names, Gav, like Vermont and Balwyn and even Noble Park, although they've had a lean trot over the last few years, are names that are synonymous around Victoria with high-level football.
And you just mentioned 2 clubs that don't have their origins in the East.
Exactly, Balwyn and Noble Park.
They were the champs of Southern,
yep.
And in a way, they got too big for that comp. And we can't sugarcoat it for references to the Southern Football League, but they wanted to come to this league just like the champion club of the Outer East coming into the inner sanctum of the premier suburban competition in Victoria and the nation.
Yeah, Berwick is an interesting one, isn't it? Brash, you've got some stats, and we'll run through them later in the show.
Yep.
As I said, we've got quite a long pre-game show with the later start, but it is interesting. Berwick are quite an enigma given their location and given their performance over recent years to find themselves in the East. But the other Premier Division games are back. There's some great fixtures. The one I'm interested in is North Ringwood against Norwood. It's a local rivalry, of course, to start off the season. And there's been some changes afoot at both clubs. Norwood are eyeing off a return to finals. It's been, I think, since their premiership, they haven't made since their losing grand finals. They haven't made finals. And Marty Pask in his second year, Brash, no Lee Williams. He's gone to Seville. No Stuart Hill. No Matt Ava, as well as a bit of a changing of the guard. It's a chance for the Wooders to make a new name for themselves.
Well, I think so. Norwood are one of many clubs that have had to restructure, Matt, with new players. When we talk about the games later on, we'll be able to talk about a few of the amount of changes to the team lists. I know what Vermont, how many they've turned over. I think, in fact, Marty Pask, in one of the interviews he did for the EFNL, I think he let the cat out of the bag a little bit with regards to how much they were saving on the salary cap.
Yeah, well,
Williams, 40,000. Was that how we?
Yeah,
is that right?
40,000. When Marty and I have quite a good relationship, I don't know the exact figure, but yeah, it's a fair chunk. And if they'd signed that, and then the new salary cap rules, I'm sure it would have been prorated down, but still it's a fair chunk for a spectacular player nonetheless, but it is one player, and Gav, you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, and I think their problem goes wider than that. They haven't, since their premiership, their midfield has looked a bit
old.
And the strength around the stoppages hasn't been as good as the other contenders. And the one thing that they've done in the years subsequent to their premiership was start the season slow. And you can't play catch-up. If you're behind on the count, you're battling just for fifth.
Well, that's what hurt them in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, was that they actually finished the year as one of the form sides.
Yep.
And knocked off a couple of top sides who made the final. So,
Yep.
As you said, it's a big game. And Marty has been very big on making sure they do create a new identity. You know, as much as he's sad to see the likes of Hill and Ava and Williams go, he's keen to push that next crop through.
Well,
and as you're saying, Gav, they need to regenerate.
It's called evolution. That's the name of the game. I mean, we're looking at a premier division, right, where, and it's like that for all the top grades in local football, metro football. Everyone has had to regenerate their list with their youth that they've brought up through their 19s, which is a fantastic fillip. It's actually bringing football back to a local level prior to a massive salary cap, Matt.
Yeah, you're right, aren't you? And clubs will be looking to develop their own rather than poaching from outside. Although jobs will probably become the new currency rather than actual money.
And location.
Exactly, and location. Another things going well for Norwood are they're getting the players that they have brought in are of high quality and still striving for higher honours. So VFL listed players like Michael Wen, who actually played for Cranbourne and would have played on this ground many a time, so he'll be good use of intel when Norwood come up against Berwick. Michael Wen, a ruckman from Port Melbourne, is on their list. They've got another couple. Daniel Bettison's joined. Blake Pearson's going to be full-time. So things looking good for Norwood, but it's, as we've all said, this is it for Norwood. They can't afford another year missing finals because it's just not good enough for the side or the club they claim to be.
Well, I just think, I don't know, with you two gents, but I sort of, having a look at Norwood statistically, it almost seems like to me they're flatlined since their premiership years.
Well, it would flatline, but also flatline down. They haven't just been holding in fifth, have they? They've been holding in sixth and seventh, Gav, which is not good enough for a side that want to contend and be a powerhouse.
Well, it's a simple mathematics. They say in the AFL, if you actually lose your first two games in the AFL, you can't make finals. It has been bucked by one or two.
But it's usually,
because you're 2 games behind 50%, and 50% doesn't get you into finals in most competitions.
Well, what is your minimum? There you go, we've created a tangent. Well done, Gav. What do you reckon is your minimum number of wins to get in the 5? You've got 16 rounds, or I think it's 18 rounds, but you'll play 16 games with the bye. You know, are you looking at least 9-7? You want to be over 50%, Gav, minimum?
Because you have to beat the teams below you. So there's
and at least one above, probably.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Right,
in his wheelhouse.
Right, in 2019 it was 10-8 that made finals. Right, in Premier, Division 1 was 8-10, Division 2 was 11-7, Division 3 was 10-8. 9-9 and 10-6. Well, I've put for this year, I've actually predicted 11 and it'll have to be 11 and
7.
Yeah, that's including the 2 buys.
I think, and I believe buys are 4 points. Yeah. So everyone's on 2 wins.
Yeah, 10 and 8 for Division 1, 11 and 7 for 2. 10 and 8 for Division 3 and 11 and 7 for 4. They're my predictions.
So for Norwood, Gav, on that, they'd have to beat everyone of the bottom 5, and they've got to, which is getting you 10, and then they've got to beat someone who else is competing for finals. So they can't afford to slip up. You're very right.
Well, how do you rank them against Vermont, Blackburn,
you can't,
Balwyn, South Croydon?
You can't.
There's 4 clubs that they have to knock off, and they've got a good record actually against some of those clubs.
Well, Balwyn, they've got a really good record against Balwyn.
It's just they drop a game in the middle, just before they get on a run, they drop a game that shakes them.
It's games against Noble Park that have hurt them in previous years. Noble Park have been a developing side who play good footy, and they knock off Norwood. They don't knock off Vermont, they knock off Norwood. On the other side of the ledger, North Ringwood, it's a danger year for them, I think. I've got them going down. And not because it's just someone's got to go down, and I think Berwick have enough, and we'll get onto that later on. They were the lowest scorers in 2019.
1, 2, check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, check 1, 2.
I've spoken to their president Lee Robson, who was pretty grumpy with me putting them last, and that's that's fair enough. He thinks they've improved 5 goals at either end of the ground. I don't see that. Dylan Van Union's a good player, as is Robbie Nahas, but I still think they've got a lot of ground to catch up to be even around the mark of the top 8, let alone finals.
Where they fall down, right, and it's prominent, is their midfield doesn't kick enough goals to support their forwards. That's been to their detriment. Look, I think they'll go better this year, but
there's more games that are winnable. Obviously, North Ringwood and Montrose struggled last year with Doncaster East, Doncaster, Berwick. There's more games around their skill.
I'm trying. I know it's easy. I actually had Doncaster as a side that could possibly go down, Matty. But I'm just having and that's another thing. I mean, when I'm tipping a side that's got a Chandler medalist in it to go down.
Well, double Chandler medalist, is he not, Chris? Doncaster is interesting because of a lot of their recruits are VFL listed, so it's about how often you'll get them. So that's a problem Roval have got in terms of a lot of their gun players are VFL listed, but VFL listed at standalone clubs. And the problem there is, Brash, let's say Vermont, Mitch Mallis is VFL listed at Box Hill. I think Jack Maybaum and Tom North are VFL listed at Carlton. The problem is they're both ex-AFL, so they're probably going to be walk-up starts. But Mitch Mallis, for example, young kid on Box Hill's list, Gavin Brash, he's going to struggle to get picked if Hawthorn have 15 players available, because there's only 7 spots for Box Hill listed players. So Mitch Mallis is going to play a lot of footy for Vermont. For Doncaster, if their players are listed to Coburg or Port Melbourne or Frankston, for example, the same with Roval. I think Bailey Lambert, who was Noble Park's leading goal kicker last year, played for Frankston last night. They're not going to play for Roval because there's less competition for spots. So those recruits can be misleading.
I also think too, they're sort of like football's, they're really hard. I feel sorry for those type of players because at the end of the day, all they want to do is play a game of football. They're like, and the thing is, not as we've seen in the past, Matt. They don't necessarily go and play in their senior 11 in 18 either. They sometimes play in their.
Well, I think Blackbird have got a couple of VFL listed players in the reserves due to player points and so on.
Yeah.
So it's a very hard thing, and Gav, it's a hard thing for clubs and the players to manage.
Well, I think it's going to be hard for us as pundits to get a handle on who's going up or going down on the ladder when North Ringwood have admitted they're going to have 11 new players in the first round lineup to what they had 2 years ago. And we've got to remember, it's 2 years ago, 2019. Have the youth developed? Have the names left? Are they being replaced by champions? Let's just finish on North Ringwood. I reckon some of these ex-AFL players, they don't always become the marquee player. But I think Robin Nahas...
He's been around local footy long enough.
Yeah, I reckon he can make an impact for them.
Well, they're going to play him off half-back flank from what I've heard. And that might be because as a coach he wants to see more of the ground. You'll find a lot of coaches do that. They like to play at either end of the ground rather than the middle. But I'd suspect if they need some goals, Gav, that Robbie Nahas might slide himself into the forward pocket. And but Dylan Van Eunik, he's played enough local footy that they're not going to be that sort of step back and, ooh, crap, there's a lot of players around me.
I think they're probably going to... I think they've got to throw caution to the wind, I reckon, North Ringwood a little bit. I think they're going to...
especially early on, as Gav's saying. Early wins, bank them early. This is a great chance to catch someone on the hop.
Well, it's what they did in their first year in the comp when they surprised people coming up after a premiership in the second division. What's going to be great is the Chandler Meta count, and you're going to have Demetrio on the mic, Matt Fodia saying, Nahas.
Exactly. And he didn't get many Brownlow votes, I don't think, Robbie, but he was definitely a star player.
Called, he actually got a lot of 3 votes when people were like, what? But when Demetrio called him out, it was, Nahas.
I think he'll probably bring a different game plan to what they've had.
All coaches say this, though, Brash.
Oh, no.
All coaches tell me, we're going to play an attractive style of footy. And then come round 3, Gav, when they're on the back end of 2 10-goal losses, straight back into defensive zones, boys.
Yeah, I know. I guess then all of it, that's the problem. You all of a sudden, instead of throwing caution to the wind, you're playing preservation football, and then all.
But I agree with you. I think he has said that, and as you said, that sometimes the best way of winning games early is actually you've got to try and score, especially nowadays, because other teams will get too good at. You can't just sit numbers behind the footy. Other teams will get too good at picking them off. People take off 45 kicks. The skills are so good now that you can't just sit numbers behind the ball and they're going to bomb it long in the air. They're going to cut you open.
I think, Gav, I actually think in Premier grade. In Premier Division, I think we're going to see a lot more attacking style this year, like Matt has just described, because I don't think sides are going to be prepared to, and on some grounds, they won't be able to drop numbers behind the ball here.
Yeah. Well, you can, but there's a lot more space to fill.
Yeah, but you're not going to. But it's going to actually.
Well, the problem is if you're dropping numbers behind the ball, you can't on a ground like Berwick, and we'll talk about it no doubt today. You can't rebound as quickly because it's 8 kicks from one end of the ground to the other.
We can't win a game of football if you're doing it that way either.
Anyway, North England and Nord, there you go.
Yep.
Nord have to win, so I'm tipping them. They have to win, and they probably have to win comfortably if they're genuinely contending as they suspect.
Well, I'll be going for Norwood first up. Yeah.
Gav?
Look, all my tips are not going to be with knowledge. I'm just going to go for the upset then.
North Ringwood.
Good on you.
Well, the Saints. The other games around the grounds, Doncaster East make their Premier Division debut, long awaited if you ask them, against Blackburn. They've had to win 2 premierships and wait for a pandemic to end in this country to finally make their debut, but they're coming up against a pretty good measuring stick, Brash. We're going to know a lot about Donny East by the end of the day. We're either going to know that they're a fair side if they give Blackie a run, or we're going to know that they're a fair way off it should they get pantsed.
Yeah, I think you've probably hit that one right in a nutshell. However, I think Steve Buckle,
he knows his way.
He knows what he's about, and look, he's probably been as frustrated as if any coach, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because the side that they had lined up for 2020
was a lot better than 2021.
And obviously, when you lose, don't forget they've lost their heart and soul of that club, Mika Stephen, right? And you can't underestimate what his presence. That's what they're going to miss.
Yeah.
His actual presence on the ground, because he inspires players to do better than what they are.
Yeah, exactly. He drags people up a level, but you've got to tip Blackburn in this game, don't you, Gav?
Look,
definitely.
I've heard a couple of whispers around EFL House too, EFNL House. A couple of people think this is Blackie's year.
Yeah.
Well, I've got them in my top 3 this year.
The one thing I want to say about Donny East is they were ready for Premier Division 2019. They didn't get to go up. They were definitely ready for Premier Division in 2020. There was something that happened. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me in a sec.
Sniffles.
2021. If they're not ready for the Premier Division, then they have no one to complain to, because they were lobbying. They were going to EFNL House and saying, "Can we get this season started?"
They wanted
every day.
They were happy if it was just them and one other team, 18 weeks in a row.
I mean, they've got some good players. They've got Sammy Rowe in there.
Exactly.
Phelan.
They'll be fine.
They've got quality players.
It'll be their bottom 5 that we find out more about.
That's where the difference is going to be.
Quickly before we go to our first ad break, I assume we're all on Blackburn, although Gav does like an upset.
No, I can't, because Blackburn, I think, premiership contender.
I've got to go Blackburn in this one.
South Croydon and Doncaster, we've spoken about Marcus Alessi. Well done to him, making a return to footy after brain cancer. Doncaster, you think they're going to struggle this year. I think they'll be down the bottom half as well. But I think they'll be better than they were in 2019. South Croydon, could they slide down a couple positions? Matt Jones is gone. He's gone back to Wangaratta. A couple other. The Monkhurst never played, but they did come, and now they're gone. Anderson to the Waffle. Chris Jones to the Waffle. They've lost a few.
Walker.
Yeah, exactly, Walker. I think they'll be around the finals, but I don't think they're going to contend.
I think they might be that 6 to 7, 6 to 8 side.
Maybe 5th if they get on a roll.
Yeah, a lot of it they'll rely on Dano King again.
He loves it.
I know, he thrives on that. I reckon he's the one guy in the competition that thrives on
backs to the wall.
Yeah, that's it.
But I think they'll win today, Brash.
Yeah, I do.
They've got a couple of recruits. Good luck to Marcus Bazaglo.
Yeah.
If he's ready, I hope he is for the club's sake as well as his, because he's a legend of the comp. I wish him all the best.
Yeah, so do I.
And a ripping fight.
He's a ripping guy.
And I don't think Doncaster deserved the year they had previously. They had a lot of players unavailable for them.
They had injuries. They had bad injuries.
They had people going overseas, and it wasn't the year for them to have missing players. So I just hope for their sake, because they're a good club with good players, have they got the depth to get through a season and make finals?
And they've got a coach who knows a lot about this club, Stewie Kemmerman, who coached Berwick to back-to-back flags in 2018-19. So he'll know this club, and obviously a talented footballer himself, but also a good coach. So yeah, I think they're going to be fine in terms of relegation personally. But
I reckon one of these sides might be battling it out for the one of those final spots.
Exactly, it's going to be close. We're going to go to an ad break. On the other side of it, we've put aside some time, Brash, for Vermont and Baldwin, because it's probably the game of the round.
Yeah.
But we'll be back after these messages. How long have we got, Bruce? 4 minutes. There was a bit of white noise, but it went away there. Bruce. Eagle. Bruce. Yeah. I had a little bit of white noise, but I think you might have fixed it with everything. Just to hold up. For EFNL game day. It's Berwick's debut in the Eastern Football Netball League. They're taking on local rivals Noble Park. I think they've played a few games against each other back in the 30s and 50s. So a long time between drinks for these two clubs. And at the moment it's Noble Park leading the reserves by 9 points late in the second quarter. Or sorry, early in the second quarter. The 19s, Noble Park, they got up by about 5 goals after jumping to an early start. And in the women's, Berwick defeated South Belgrave Listerfield by 29 points. So a good start for the Wickers women there. I think it's their first time having a women's team in a long time.
Great atmosphere out here
and,
too.
Yeah, and spoke to President Glenn Gambetta. He's predicting 2,000 through the gates. And it is, the cars are packed around. I've got a prime position right behind the goals. They've got a fence there, so no danger unless someone launches one from 65 and drops it over the top there. But the Corolla she could probably do with a bit of a touch-up. So anyway, we've left probably the best game in Premier Division on paper till last. It's reigning back-to-back premiers Vermont, taking on Bourne, who, you know, in recent years have probably not been quite at the level they expect, but still a quality side with some quality players. Brashear, of course, a Vermont man, so we'll leave Vermont to you. But Gav, first on Bourne, lost a core of their, you know, that dominant side of the mid-10s.
Yep.
You know, with Gilchrist and Weatherald and so on moving on. Reagan, exactly. Cam Manuel's moved out to Moe, so that's another big loss for them. But they've still got Jeff Goebbels, and they've picked up some key players. Lyle, the ex-Hawk and Lion, who's kicked mountains of goals for Port Melbourne, and a couple other players who from the Northern Leagues and so on. Charlie Haley suspended for the first 2 weeks, but he'll still be at the top of his game when he comes back. What are you expecting from Baldwin this year under Rodney Eade?
I think they're challengers to Vermont's crown. They always are. The actual finals loss they had in the semis was disturbing. They couldn't get the ball going forward against Vermont, who didn't concede many inside 50s all year, did they? Brash, as you'll talk about. And that's where Baldwin have to make ground. It's in the engine room. They've got to break free and surge forward. They've got less focal points, but they might be more streamlined with a Goebbels-Haley combination.
And Lyle.
The centre half forward, who's not a bad player as well, I'm just trying to think of, but they do have the ammunition to take on Vermont, and they will be a strong side. Whether they have the depth and injuries come at the wrong time for them, I think they're the natural challengers too.
They've got under-19s now, though, which is a great sign for them in the future. It's a hard area with private schools in the inner east to find junior players, so that's a great sign.
What's the points like? Because when they picked up a player, Sydney player,
Richards.
Yeah, and they had a point.
Xavier Richards?
Yeah, they had a point situation where they couldn't play their best side. Are they still struggling with that?
I think the tough stuff for them is those players we mentioned that they've lost were all 1 point players, which for Baldwin, as we know, are like gold dust. But a number of players each year you obviously lose a point, and if a player was listed last year and didn't transfer out in search of a game, obviously no one played, but there was a period there where some competitions were going to play and a lot of players were going to transfer out, transfer back in. I think the league rewarded players and clubs that managed to keep their list together by dropping them all down another point as if they'd played a season. So, look, you'd assume Baldwin's list management have done their maths correctly and have kept their player points under the limit. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how they regenerate losing that core. But it's probably, as we've spoken about with Norwood, it's probably a good time to move on those guys. And Jeff Goebbels has still got plenty of good years ahead of him. Haley's still in his peak. So I think they'll compete as well. I think they'll be around the mark, but I don't think they'll be premiership contenders. Brash, you might have a differing opinion on the Tigers.
Oh, look, with these two sides, it's a bit like it doesn't matter where they are on the ladder type situation. They bring the best out of each other, and today once again won't be any exception. Both sides are fiercely. It's a fierce rivalry, but a respected rivalry amongst the two. And Rodney Eade has basically been on record saying that he still feels that Vermont are the benchmark again this year. I think he's probably talking. I can understand why he would say that. I think they're a side in transition. They've managed to still retain some key performers in Haley, and it's good to see Jeff Goebbels once again. And Pendlebury down the back is going to be important for him again, and Sean Cross.
Sean Cross still going around.
Yeah. So they've still got some quality there. Vermont, well, on the other hand, from 2019, they've had 29 list changes out of 54 since the end of the 2019 season. That's a massive turnaround on a turnaround of a playing list. And a few of those guys like Brett Eddy and Jake Best. There's 100 goals out of your side. But at the end of the day, it gives opportunities to others, and it's going to be a new look Vermont today. However, the one thing they've been able to retain is the core of their back line. Wilcox, led by Wilcox, Joey Fisher. Just to name a few, it's going to be a really solid back line. James Ross is going to make his debut for Vermont today. A celebrated Eastern Rangers boy, very much of the same mould of his brother Robbie, who's, I tell you what, I had a look at him again the other night. He
fit.
Oh mate, he's so lithe.
Yeah.
Right. I reckon he could play to his 50, Robbie. I'm not joking. He looks in great nick.
Well, they send him to hospital with a punctured lung, and he comes back in 2 weeks. So
he's going to be, well, put it this way, he'll probably be playing second ruck, so to speak, because Liam Buxton's back at the club again this year.
The whale.
Yeah, he's back. They've also got, they've still got the core midfield led by Lockie Johns and Tommy Schneider, so there's still quality there. The forward line will probably be Andrew Ainger, I think, will probably head the forward line up this year.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been an evolution of changes.
But is one miss Rory Lehman off to Sandful, playing in the greater comp, champion fullback, centre back when needed?
Yeah, look, Rory's, like anything, Gav, as you well know, it's sometimes hard to keep the good ones. I mean, I'm sure the ones that left, maybe Brett Eddy would have probably played 2020 if they had gone again. But in the end, it's the same with like Rennie, right? Those guys, they probably realised that they'd reached their peak of their powers in the EFNL, and if they were always going to get a better offer, they were going to...
I think the difference between Best and Eddie is Best is going to further his coaching and so on, and I think that's where he's from originally, isn't he? He's out that way.
He's a Traralgon boy,
Whereas Brett Eddy he's actually played at the highest level. So for him, local football is because he loves the game, but obviously he's going to try and get as much out of it as possible. He's South Australian boy, is he not?
Well, interestingly, him and Rennie are actually playing together at Caulfield Grammarians this year.
So there you go.
So I mean, look, I think what this rivalry today is going to take it's going to be a new chapter in an old rival, because there's going to be a lot of
two new teams
basically go on the ground, and half of the players won't even know about this intense rivalry, so they'll probably go out and play with three abandoned.
There's plenty of supporters who'll say,
they'll remind them.
Yeah,
because they will.
Baldwin came across 2007, won 2008. Vermont were on a 3 run of premierships. Baldwin won to stop them from going 4. Baldwin had the wood on them, winning grand finals when Vermont thought that they should be winning those years. Then Vermont have taken back the pride of the contest.
But that's the second time it's happened, because Noble Park came into the competition for exactly the same reason.
Are you saying Berwick are going to come in and...
Look,
there's a pattern emerging.
Well, you possibly. I mean, when we talk about Berwick later on,
there's a form line.
There is a form line there.
Yeah.
Right, and the thing is that when we look at this club later on, they're a serious club. Let's not dilly dally around here.
We'll wait. We'll moisten
put it on hold.
Yeah, exactly.
But Riley Monkhorst, big loss, because he was the top
back
2.
To Wuriallic, and Ruckman are hard to find. They don't grow on trees, as South Croydon will tell you, because they lost Zach Monkhurst, who'd signed. He went back to Wuri as well. Wuriallic, on the other hand, have got 4 of them. They've got all the Monkhurst and another tall fellow who played in the ruck last year, so they're actually too tall. They're handing them out. Who wants one?
Well, I'm going to go for Vermont.
Thank you, Brash. I was going to ask for tips.
Vermont by about a couple of goals.
I
agree.
I've tipped Vermont, but again, Baldwin will, as you said, they'll be up for the battle.
We'll know more at the end of the day.
We will. We'll know more than nothing, which is what we know now.
I wouldn't want to be honest, I wouldn't want to see like a blowout either side.
No, either would I. On to Division 1, we've got Mitcham v Montrose, Bayswater and Mooroolbark, Lord Island Park Orchards, Croydon and Upper Gully, and Wan Turner South East Ringle. Which game jumps out to you, gents?
The top one.
Mitcham Montrose?
Yep. I was really impressed with Mitcham last week. I think one of the key factors that why they got back into the contest, and they wore Wani South down with their tackling pressure. It's a badge of honour up there now. I would have loved to have seen the tackle count. I had a quick word to Neil near
Winterton.
winning afterwards. I reckon they would have gone close to nearly having 100 tackles for the match, Gav. And Montrose, they had a really nice win first up against Bayswater, and I think it's and I'm a bit bullish on Montrose this year. For me, it's a bit of a free hit for them.
It's a free hit for everyone, really, isn't it, in Division 1? But yeah, I get your point. They're coming down and they get to be a big dog again.
Yeah.
My game of the round is Bayswater Moorbark, because Bayswater, just when you want to write them off, they win. Yeah. And so I don't try to write them off, other than know that a win's around the corner. Yeah. So I know they've had Moorbark. I'll be interested to see how they keep going this year. It's a tough division because it's a great start for the Mustangs last week, albeit against Ludlow side we think are going to struggle, and they'll probably be on the end of another hiding against Park Orchards today, who are another contender. But Moorbark have improved immensely. But you're right, this is a big test for them because Bayswater is a side that are always thereabouts. So if Moorbark can knock them off by a margin of 5 goals, let's say, we might go, oh, actually, they're here for real. So it's a good point there, Gav. Like I said, I think Park Orchards is going to pump Ludlow, and that hurts me to say it, as we know. But Ludlow, they're a young team, and there's plenty of signs, but they're going to have a tough start to the year with the fixture they've got. Park Orchards are adding Andreas Everett this week. They didn't play him last week. He didn't want to go out to Kings Park. He'd heard all the stories about knee-high mud, and he thought, I'll play at the LSO. It's a short ground. I can have a shot from the wing. For a second there, I was believing you that's what he said to the club. But
I did, I'm not allegedly. Allegedly saves you at everything. As Montana South East Ringwood's a key game. East Ringwood a chance to go 2-0 after a great win last week, and Wanty South, who we expect to improve. That the problem with losing to Mitcham now is, and like Gav said, 0-2 is a hard place to come from, and now they're staring down the barrel at it, aren't they? Playing an East Ringwood side in form.
Yeah, I think. I think when you look at Park Orchards, had a look at what they did last week. They dismantled Upper Gully, and I had a look at Upper Gully reserves. And
that's a long day.
They didn't score. They didn't score. That's not good. That is not good. But
so and Croydon will need to make the most of it, given they lost last week.
Yeah, they need to. They actually need.
They need to bounce back.
They need to bounce back today. I think at this stage, look, Park Orchards have been on the build. This is a side that's being built to be a premier powerhouse, and it's not going to take them too long. And I'll tell you what, if they find some form early, they could make mincemeat of this competition this year.
Yeah, and like I said, they're very good. They've got numbers everywhere. They're strength in depth. Croydon were the ones talked about, so we'll see what they're made of this week at home against Upper Gully.
Yep.
East Ringwood are another, they've sort of stayed under the radar because of their, Wanton and South brought in all those Vermont players, so we're very bullish on them, and we still are.
Yes.
But as I was saying before, Gav, you speak about 0-2 being a tough place to come from. Wanty South lost to Mitcham, something they probably would have tentatively put in, and now they're playing East Ringwood. So they could be 0-2 despite playing fairly decent footy. So it's a danger game for the Devils.
Well, you called the game 6-11. Just a snapshot of it. Was it missed chances?
It was the first quarter, wasn't it, Brash? And we've only got a couple of minutes to dissect this, but it was the first quarter. The Devils were all over them. And Brash and I were sitting next to each other, and we were both worried that it was going to be a blowout, and we picked the wrong game.
Yeah.
And the Devils were all over them. Mitcham, looked slow, couldn't get their hands on the footy, but Wanty South didn't put them away. No. And then as the game wore on, they started, I don't think they were used to the Vermont players weren't used to the style of footy being a bit more condensed. The weather suited Mitcham, and Mitcham's tackle pressure came up. So you're right, Gav, they didn't put them away early because they could have easily been 6 goals up at quarter time and killed the game.
Yeah, most definitely.
So it's an interesting game to keep an eye on because East Ringwood did very well, but the Devils are a better side than they put out last week. Quick tips, guys. Mitcham, Montrose?
I'm going to go Montrose.
Gav?
Montrose.
Same here. Bayswater, Moorbark. I'm jumping on the Mustangs.
Yeah, I'll get on the Horsies.
The Horsies?
Yep.
Just go Bayswater after what I said.
There you go. They're a good side. Park Orchards, Ludlow, I assume we're all on the Sharks.
Yep, we are.
And Croydon, Upper Gully, same, the Blues.
Yep.
And then finally, Wanty South East Ringwood. I'm going on the form line. I'm going with the Roos under Ben Osborne.
Yeah, I'm going to go Wanty South.
Wanty South at home?
No, at home. It's a good home ground advantage they got.
Tyner Road there. The other Walker Park. It's Walker Reserve, isn't it? There?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to go to our second break of the day, and we'll come back on the other side of this one to have a look at Division 2 from Edwin Flack Reserve as we're previewing the build-up to Berwick and Noble Park.
Yes! Straight into his pie hole. You beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Let's head back. Okay, here we go. Mic's on.
Thanks, Nigel.
And go.
And welcome back to Edward Flack Reserve here. Berwick Football Club making their debut in the Eastern Football Netball League. And I'm joined here by Wayne Brasher and Gavin Casey. Gav was just off talking to
You're off for the fairies, were you?
Injured media team member Ray Baird. He's returning from injury. He's on the pine.
He doesn't sound injured.
No, well, he never does. He never does. He's a brave man putting on a brave face. At the moment, it's the reserves. It's half time, and Berwick, I believe they lead Noble Park here. No, they don't. Noble Park are up by 10 points. I've read the scoreboard wrong.
Don't forget the home side's always on the top, Matty.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. Division 2 now, gents.
Yep.
The game I want to look at is the Basin and Templestowe. Now, on paper, you might think that seems a bit silly, but the reason for that is the Basin surprised many, including myself, with a 25-point win over Heathmont. And Templestowe, on the other hand, didn't surprise many, going down by a fair margin against Ringwood. But the thing is, we speak about 0-2 being a tough place to come from, Gav. The Basin have the best opportunity they're going to have in a long time to be 2-0 head in here. And once you're 2-0, look at the Adelaide Crows, look at the Sydney Swans. You get some momentum, and all of a sudden, finals that looked a long way off become a real possibility. So the Basin, they talked big, and I had them 8th, and looks like I'm going to have egg on my face, but they talked big. They've got a young squad. They've got a great opportunity to take advantage of a wounded Templestowe.
It's not often I'm going to disagree with you, but the Basin is one where I actually had them top 5.
Yeah.
And actually I would have had them higher, but I'm just not sure.
Have you got them in the 4? Or just outside?
4.5.
Yeah.
If they prove good enough,
exactly.
they'll make it. But actually,
So you reckon they won't make the finals on percentage?
Yeah.
they're going to have to beat, the obvious.
But they've already beaten one in Heathmont, who have made finals in the last 3 campaigns in this division.
Well, I think Ringwood is obviously a pacemaker.
Baroni are the same.
South Belgrave and possibly Knox is going to be thereabouts. Yeah. But I actually rate the Basin because their youth has actually popped their head up.
Well, they've got 2 under-19 teams, which I think would be the first time the Basin's had 2 under-19 teams in a long time. It's a club on the grow. 2 under-19s team, a women's team, which was close to producing 2 women's teams. So they're close to 6 senior sides on the football field, and then you include the netball. It is brimming, the Basin. For a suburb this small, and it's not a visual medium at the moment, I'm holding my 2 hands together in 2 small fists, but the Basin is a tiny suburb.
It is.
And they've almost got 160 registered senior players. Then you add in their juniors, Gav. You're right, they're on the build.
The Basin's very good at holding players in the area.
We can't get out.
Because it's a Basin.
Yeah. I got what you're putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Gav. Don't worry. They kept Heathmont to 10 scoring shots last week, Brash, and Heathmont are notoriously quite a free-flowing side. So that's something for the Bears to hang their hat on.
Yeah, they do. And, look, I think Heathmont, like I said, it's been a generation change up there for them this year. And when you look at them, look, they've always been that 4 to 6 side, right throughout their tenures in whatever division. And that was with a list with some very, very senior players that have come through the competition. But now it's a new look Basin, and they may be able to. And they probably can break the shackles now, Matty, of their past.
Yeah, exactly. And Justin Stanton is big on that. And when I spoke to him in the pre-season, he was talking about not only just playing finals this year, he thinks they're timing their build so that when they reach a premiership contender status, they'll be at the average age of 25 or 26.
Yeah.
Because he was saying a lot of sides win a premiership in this division and they're quite old. So you look at Mitcham's probably a hard one because they're probably, with Neil Winterton being almost 68, it probably takes the average age up. But I think he's saying a lot of sides go up and they're quite old. Donny East is an example, and then they compete for a couple of years and they drop away. he's saying they're timing their runs, so when he wants to start winning flags, they're going to be in their prime. He wants to keep going up and up. So they're quite bullish, the Basin.
And so they should be. Whereas let's look at Templestowe, and I did say last week I'm prepared to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm still at 1 goal late. It's still concerning, and the way Craig DeCourcy was saying, the way he spoke, or as was quoted, that I think he said, look, the players were really hurting on that performance last Saturday night, but I'm expecting Templestowe to come out with fire and brimstone this afternoon.
Well, Gav, it's the Dockers. As much as you think Basin are going to finish in that top echelon of the 8 sides, this is a game for the Dockers that they have to win.
They've got to win this.
Because with such a tight division and sides like Ringwood, Boronia, South Belgrave looking like they're going to have a few comfortable wins this year. Mulgrave have improved. Knox should be fine. Whether they make finals is something down the line, but they should be fine. Templestowe have to make the wins when they can, and as much as the Basin are informed, this is a must-win game for the Dockers.
Yeah, I just think the problem with Templestowe is they relied numbers around the contest, being strong around the contest. They were very good in winter in low-scoring games. They stranglehold the opposition, and this is...
They should get there pretty quick. They should be playing Berry. They'd just fly over.
Maybe they should have put in a runway at H.E. Parker when they redid the grant. And
they got everything else. Yeah. They've got everything else.
Just warming up with a few puns.
You are. You're going well, Gav.
But South Belgrave, the count will be in the club rooms for the last time they lost in 2018, undefeated in 2019.
Do we know who they lost to in 2018? Who was the last side to knock them off?
That takes research, and I haven't done any of that. But what was the count that was mentioned?
It was
last
760-something days.
Yeah. So it's counting every day. You add 7 when they win, so they can pop.
When do they lose? Who do they lose? Who are the 2 teams you reckon they'll lose to? Ringwood and Boronia?
Well, they're the obvious.
Yeah, they're the obvious ones. It will be interesting to see how they go today against a Heathmont side. Mulgrave, as you said, they're probably lower half of this division. Winning by 10 goals is expected.
Or it'll be one of those nondescript games, maybe like a Knox down at...
Knox Gardens.
Yeah.
Under some mist.
Yeah, fog and mist.
The ground started to get cut up.
Yeah.
Tim Smith turns up and he goes, this isn't the MCG, I might just take this one off.
That'd be the sort of game they'd probably lose, South Belgrave.
Exactly. So it's going to be an interesting Division 2. It's so tight that as much as we keep harping on about this 0-2, 2-0 thing, because all the divisions are so tight this year, early wins momentum is king.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very interesting to see.
50-50 is not good enough.
No.
It won't be this year.
And that's why the Basin's win last week was so key, because, as you speak about, beating teams that are above you. Of course, no one's above each other in rounds 1. But on paper, Heathmont were predicted by most people to be above the Basin. So they've already gained a win. And we spoke about Mitcham have gained a win. Even East Ringwood have probably gained a win because Croydon were expected to be above them. So gaining wins is so key to making the finals. So it's going to be a very interesting game around the Grands there in Division 2 and Division 1, as we mentioned before the last break. So as we build up here to Berwick's senior debut at the moment in the reserves, they're 10 points down to Noble Park. Local rivals wearing a nice yellow, the Berwick jumper, the ground. It's got the EFNL logo, the City of Casey. Todd Devine Holmes he's actually hired a drone. Brush, so he can get footage of his signage on centre wing here at Edwin Flack. And before we go to our final
break, I do my hair for
you should do your break. They've got the bus over here. If you are in the Edwin Flack Berwick area, pop down because they're expecting a massive crowd. An absolutely massive crowd here today. So get down and enjoy their debut. We're about to go for a bit of a break. On the other side of this break, we'll be still on the SEN app, but we'll also be joined by Eastern FM on the simulcast there at 98.1 on your radio dial. And we'll do a bit more of a preview of Division 4, and then we'll jump into Berwick and Noble Park.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Nige. 4.5 minutes.
Thanks, mate.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Decided to go with the mahogany with gold handles on the side and white roses. I think that should look really elegant.
I like how you can see it all.
Tobin Brothers Funerals' latest Memory Maker app gives you more choice than ever before. With the app's newest Build Your Own feature, you can now personalise your own coffin or casket. Choose the design, the colour, the handles, the drapery and flowers to match. Download Tobin Brothers Funerals' Memory Maker app from the App Store or visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
With Bendigo Bank's new Complete Home Loan, you'll be completely taken care of. With a completely awesome rate, complete offset on fixed and variable loans, and a home loan specialist completely dedicated to you. So if you're not completely sure about the Big Four, search Bendigo Bank Complete Home Loan or head into Bendigo Bank, the better big bank. Lending criteria, terms, conditions, fees and charges apply.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
1 minute.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to...
That's all good. That's good. I've got the footage up. Enjoying the drone footage at the moment.
Experience shorter wait time.
But I've watched you eating lots of food. I'm very jealous. You should be saving it for us.
Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Looks pretty good.
Senior coach has taken the...
I've had a packet of twisties and a banana, that's all I had.
This kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole...
I've got another banana and a packet for twisties a little later as well.
Back! He circled back! Yeah!
Yeah, that's fine, that's only good.
Beauty!
Yep. Yeah, 10 seconds the opener, I'll play the opener again anyway, so...
Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
It's time for the match of the round. Let's cross to our team and go local for your footy.
All right, here we go. I'm going to put my mics on now.
Yes, welcome back to Edwin Flack Reserve here in Berwick for the Wickers' debut in the Eastern Football Netball League. It's been a long road for them to finally get here, but they're here and they're going to take on Noble Park at the moment. The reserves into their third quarter. It's the Bulls by 15 points. I'm joined by Wayne Brasher and Gavin Casey. We're about to look at Division 3 very quickly and Division 4 before we dive into this game. And if you're listening to us on Eastern FM 98.1, thanks for joining us. If you're staying on the SEN Crystal Clear app, thanks for sticking with us. Division 3 was an interesting round last week. There was a draw. I spoke to Adam Amin from Glen Waverley. His brother is playing in the reserves at the moment. I spoke to Adam, so Scoresby led all day. Last quarter, about 45 seconds to go. The Hawks go inside forward 50. They score a point, Brash. 6 points to difference. Scoresby bringing out defence. Turnover. Back inside forward 50. Amin gets a free kick 15 metres out directly in front with 10 seconds to go.
What, and everyone, kicks it out
and everyone goes, push back on your mark, take the shot. Amin plays on immediately with 10 seconds to go. Luckily kicks the goal. Siren goes second later. Apparently the coaches come in after the game and said, thank God you put that one through because I was about to rip your head off.
Who actually knew, though, that there was 10 seconds to go?
I asked Adam before. I said, did you know? And he goes, I saw the clock and saw it was 27 minutes gone and thought there has to be 2 or 3 minutes left for a chance. So on, don't they?
Yeah.
1, 2. Anyway, they've got the bye, the Hawks, so that's why Adam's here. The other Division 3 games, Donvale, they upset the Waverley Blues last week, Brash, and they're taking on East Burwood, who beat Whitehorse by 3 points. I've got Donvale winning it, but there was a lot of changes. Murphy and Haig out, and Crabtree who kicked 3 for the Magpies, so could be a danger game. Yeah.
Yeah, that might tip the scales in East Burwood's favour. And for mine, is it down at East Burwood?
No, it's down at Donvale.
Well, no, is Nick Murphy playing?
No, he's at one of the outs. I think he hardly played at all.
He got injured in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, no. Look, I'm going to stick with Donvale at home.
There you go.
I still think that they showed me enough last week that they can continue on their winning way.
And what about you, Gav?
I'm not sure, actually. I just don't know. I think if Waverley Blues were the
pinnacle,
and Donvale beat them without Murphy, so don't worry about him being out. He wasn't there last week. You got to rate that win.
Oh, absolutely.
So Donvale is the favourites.
I'm going with Donvale too, but I think, as you said, Brash, the outs of Haig and Crabtree, it brings East Burwood right back into the reckoning. Furniture Gully and Warrandyte. Warrandyte are on 4 points despite having not set foot on field, with the bye being 4 points this year, and the Gully knocked off Fair Park at Fair Park under lights. I'm tipping Warrandyte because I think they're going to be real contenders, but Furniture Gully will want to make the most of the first quarter because, as we've seen, clubs are struggling to find their feet getting back into the competitive edge of things, and with the Gully having an extra week under their belt, they'll want to try and get on a fast start, Brash.
I agree with that analogy. I think that's a very good way of putting it. I think I'm expecting Warrandyte to improve this year. One guy that really interests me, and I hope they use him the right way, is Lewis Oliver.
Yep.
I don't like. He's a very creative player, and he's got very good ball skills, and he runs like an absolute gazelle. And I don't like seeing him running off a halfback. He needs to be on ball where the action is.
On ball or on the wing, maybe, Brash, a bit further.
No, on ball, because he brings other players and he's very creative, a creative player. So they've got to get him where the action is. Gully, really good win for them last week. I'm going to go with them only because they've had the run out.
Gav?
I agree. Warrandyte's disadvantaged. A lot of coaches we spoke to, all the coaches everyone's a bit headless. They don't know what to expect.
The first quarter, and even watching the 19s today, Berwick, 19s actually won the last 3 quarters but lost by 5 goals because in the first quarter they looked like they'd never played footy before. They were missing short targets, running headless chooks, as you said, and Furniture Gully's a big ground, so Warrandyte players, not only are they coming off no footy, they're going to have to play on the biggest ground in the division, Gav.
Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes you're fresh and you're spirited, you get the job done. But I'm not sure. I'll go Furniture Gully.
Yeah, well, I'm going the Bloods just because I've tipped them to finish second, but I agree with you. I think the Gully, the first half's a chance for Furniture Gully to put enough space between them and the Bloods. Scores we take on the Waverley Blues. The Magpies coming off a tie when they led basically for 99% of the game. Well, and they were never behind. And the Waverley Blues were expected to win this division and went down to Donvale. So I'm tipping Waverley Blues because they'll be chomping at the bit, Brash, to get back on even ledger, but could be an interesting game.
It'll be an interesting game for a few quarters. I think Waverley Blues will be smarting after that loss last week. I expect them to, after a close first half, I expect them to run away with it in the second half.
Gav?
If they turned around 8-16, that is football.
Exactly. Bad kicking.
Yeah,
bad football.
So I think we'll go with Waverley Blues.
And Whitehorse Pioneers taking on Fair Park. I did have in my predictions Fair Park staying up quite comfortably, but from a few sources down there last Saturday night, they're probably going to struggle against that top echelon. So there might be a few bad losses, but can they pinch one against the Pioneers on an equally small ground out there at Springfield Park?
No, not tonight.
Andrew Padbury coming off 5, your man?
Yeah. I think they play that ground exceptionally well. Not too many clubs can win down there. I'm going to tip them Pioneers.
Yeah, I think the interesting, Padbury is a full forward and Fair Park don't have their champion full forward from 2019. So, yeah, there's going to be more goals for the Pioneers.
Absolutely. I've got the Pioneers winning it, and I'm starting to get a bit nervous a couple of my predictions. I had East Burwood bottom. They're already showing good signs, Brash. And I had Fair Park finishing 6th, but it's only round 2. Division 4, we started with Premier Division kicking off, and Division 4's kicking off. Chirnside Park taking on Coldstream. Now, this is massive for me because there's a lot of pressure on Coldstream. They should have probably made the grand final at a bare minimum last time out. They've then added even more. I think they've added a whole new side since their last played a game. Whitnish has come in from Phillip Island, Darcy Fritsch from Norwood, Lockie Koga from Lildale, just to name a few. They were the form team in 2019. I think they won 10 on the bounce before finals, before straight sets. They've been predicted by everyone to walk this comp. All the coaches I've spoken to in Division 4 have said Coldstream, Daylight, and then the rest of us.
Oh, that's a bit unfair.
Which I think is a bit of mind games. They're putting pressure on Coldstream, and they're taking on Chirnside, who have a chance to actually finally reset. They didn't win a game in 2018. Then the restructures meant, you're going to have to stay in this division. And guess what, Bruce? They didn't win a game in 2019. So they've had a number of ins from AFL out of Eastland alike, from the local area. I think they'll reset. What are you expecting, Brash, from these two sides? I think Coldstream will win, but what are you expecting from them?
Well, I'm expecting I'm expecting Chirnside Park coming down a grade with a few additions to be a lot more competitive than what they were in the past. I'm hoping that they, for their sake, they can find a bit of a winning culture which hasn't been at that club for such a long time, and they need to get that back so that they can build the club back up to where they feel that it should be. Coldstream, I agree. This is pure mind games by all the other coaches, and I doff my hat at them because technically
Do you reckon they all got together, Brash? The other 7, they were all texting each other. Let's just say Coldstream are far and away the best.
Mate, this is their best. This is, if there was ever a gilt edge opportunity for them to win a flag, this is their year. If they can't win it this year, they never will.
Well, I think 2019 Chirnside Park would have struggled to make finals in this division. It's a long time between a winning culture has been at that club. They need to be in this division for the rebirth of this club, but Coldstream's not the first team you want to play this year.
No, exactly right, because it could be the start of something. The thing about Chirnside is, and this division, is that with 2 teams going up, them and Forest Hill, one of the 2 of them is going to fall into finals.
Yeah.
And Chirnside, they might find themselves playing finals despite being way off 3rd. And the same with Forest Hill. So it's a very interesting, Gav. You make a good point. Like last year, they definitely wouldn't have made finals because Sylvan missed out. But now because 2 have gone up, it's opened it up again. I think this division is probably going to be the most uneven.
Technically, if East Berwick had stayed down, they would have been a shoe-in this year.
Exactly. We would have had 2 shoe-ins.
No, but
I know what you mean. We would.
But East Berwick had Coldstream's measure in 2019.
Exactly. So it's this division out of all 5 divisions in the Eastern Football Netball League, I think is the most uneven because you're going to have Coldstream, a bit of room between them, Sylvan and Surrey Park, and then more room between Chirnside and Forest Hill, and then more room between Kilsyth and Nuttawading, and then more room to Croydon, North Mount Lildale. So it's almost 6 divisions within a division. It's incredible. So eventually something's going to happen there.
Yeah.
Now, finally, the other 3 games of that division, Sylvan and Forest Hill. I've talked so much about the Zebras. They missed their opportunity, didn't they? Like Templestowe missed their opportunity to move up the divisions. Forest Hill, will they ever? This is a question that obviously isn't going to come to fruition this year, Brash, but do you think they'll ever be able to get out of this division, the Zebras?
No. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's just that unless they've had
they have to win a premiership, don't they?
Well, they do, but they've had opportunities where they've had Matt Carnelli and Pimmy down there kicking buckets and buckets of goals for them, and they've got to finals and they still haven't won. They've had a lot of heartbreaking when they've made grand finals as well. Put this way, I just don't think at the moment, Matty, it's
I don't think it's their moment at the moment. But I think Forest Hill are now in that funny position where
they're going to rebuild the club.
They won't bottom out because of the 3 sides below them that genuinely have hemorrhaged.
Yeah.
But this year's going to be interesting because, like Chirnside Park, they might fall into finals without being ready, Gav.
Yeah. I rate Sylvan, and I dare say the gap you're talking about between them and Coldstream isn't that big. It could be there. But come finals with an 8.
As I said, I think it's mind games.
Could we actually see a 4th place side fall into the finals with a less than 50% record?
Yeah.
Well, we could.
Well, you could. I think there's 4 sides below them. But yeah, 4th and 5th could easily, they'll probably lose the 6 games they play against the top 3. Forest Hill and Chirnside, the team that'll make the 4 is the team that plays because you play a couple of sides 3 times. So that's going to be the key game for the Zebras and the Panthers. Who plays Coldstream and Sylvan twice, or thrice, or if someone happens to play Croydon North thrice, who I think Churnside do because of their locality, the Panthers might squeeze in just because they're closer to Croydon North than Forest Hill are.
But Sylvan have they've got a bit of a point to prove too.
0.55
exactly.
Yeah.
We talk about the slimmest. They were 4th and a half, weren't they, last year?
Yes.
Sylvan, Trent Martin. I think it is a bit of mind games for him. He's cleverer than he lets on, Trent, and I think he's sending a message to the Cougars that you blokes have got to win this. The pressure's on you here. Everyone else is having a free hit.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I assume, though, speaking about today's game, I assume we're thinking the Cats will beat the Zebras as the Zebras go up to the red dirt.
Yeah, up
Not used
Sylvan.
to it.
Yeah.
To table this conversation for later, there should be 2 up and down in the bottom 3 divisions for fluidity and movement of clubs that don't.
I think that's something for a podcast show, Gavin. We've got a bit more time. Nunawading and Surrey Park. Nunawading were looking pretty good, but then they've lost Jordan Winter to the Panthers, and Surrey Park returned to finals in 2019, finally, and are looking the goods to at least have a crack at it in 2021. I think they're pretty good on paper.
Yeah, but haven't they lost McDougall and who they got?
Kane Hendon went to Doncaster. I know that much, but Surrey Park as a club are in a very, very good spot in terms of they've got a 19s in Premier Division, they've got numbers, they've got a women's side. Yeah, they're a good spot. They've just got to get some momentum in their senior club to hold those under 19 players.
I think they'll be able to get the 4 points today, though.
Yep. Gav?
I was sidetracked because the boundary umpire threw the ball in 30 metres and it went over the ruckman and they had to recall it. I've seen them throw it in shallow, just barely get over the head, but for him to throw it in 35 metres, I think it was, and for him to redo it because of that, that's what's distracted me, so I don't know what you said to me.
Nunawading and Surrey Park, who's winning?
Surrey Park.
Surrey Park. Kilsyth and Croydon North, Mount Ludale Old Collegians. Kilsyth, and they've both added a lot of players, but openly their coaches have said they're depth players. They don't expect them to rocket up the table. Kilsyth won 3 games last year, I assume all against Croydon North, maybe 1 against Nunawading. Croydon North, they're going to improve tenfold, but does that mean they'll win any games, Brash?
Unfortunately, for me, this is a proverbial flip the coin game.
Oh, you reckon?
I got no idea.
Could we see Croydon North's first ever win in the competition? Who will win a game first, Berwick or Croydon North?
Croydon North.
You reckon?
No, I think they'll win today.
You reckon? And there we go. We've got Brash's tip for later. But Kilsyth, Croydon North, Gav?
I'll go Kilsyth. How close have been Croydon North winning a game? I just don't remember.
I think they got quite close against Nunawading at Hughes Park one day.
Yeah, and they did get close against Kilsyth last year as well.
And they've picked up a lot of players. It's interesting. It's a very hard one to pick.
Let's have a look at the scores at the end of the day.
All right. I'm going to go with Kilsyth purely because you'd see a team win 0 games and you think they can't. How much do they need to improve?
That's why it's a flip.
All right, we're going to go to one more ad break. On the other side of it, we've got a 20-minute run-in at Berwick and Noble Park here from Edwin Flack Reserve.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener.
And you're clear, you got 4 minutes.
At 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding.
That's right.
At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Radio
radio's #1 motorsport show is back for 2021. The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson, covering everything from Formula 1 to V8 supercars.
Jack Smith from Brad Jones Racing joined us for an honest chat about his season so far.
You know, my teammates have had results and everything's going good, so if I could tell you exactly what it was that I needed to go better, I'd be very, very happy.
That's this week on The Driver's Seat.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips, and plenty of recommendations on what they're reading, watching, and whipping up in the kitchen.
Events of the past month have revealed a toxic work culture, a government that has tried to bury an alleged rape. These matters are not crusades by feminists, they're matters for the government. They affect all Australians.
I have, as you know, very unusually bad calves for boots. I can't fit into most boots. Well, I'm lying on the bed with my leg in the air so that, you know, all the blood rushes out of my feet.
The ABC's decision to move the Q&A program to a Thursday night.
To borrow a line from a certain TV show, bad call, destructive call, ridiculous call, why did they do a call?
You'll find the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast on the
1 minute.
Wherever you listen to podcasts, thanks to Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He's circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast.
Here we go.
Thanks, Nigel.
Eastern Football League.
Let's head back.
Mike's on.
Footy.
Yes, we're closing in on that final moment for the Berwick Football Club in the Eastern Football Netball League, making their debut today from Edward Flack Reserve against Noble Park. At the moment, they trail by 15 points in the reserves, heading into the last quarter, which by reports is going to be about 10 minutes because the coaches will not let their players disperse from the huddles in time. They blew the siren 4 times. There, the last one, actually, they just kept blowing the siren.
They
just held it down. Well, I just spoke to the president, Glenn Gambetta, and we've got the word from EFNL House that this quarter will just go 10 minutes. Well, that's the problem. They don't disperse, so they got a problem. You wouldn't want Noble Park to fall behind in the siren blow because they spent so long in the huddle. Anyway, enough about reserves footy.
Yeah. Let's get on with this.
Let's move on. You've got so much, Brash, and luckily we're going to have about 20 minutes to talk about it. Berwick, they finished runners-up in the AFL Outer East in 2019. They won 14 games with just 2 losses before the grand final.
Yep.
225 as their percentage.
Yep.
They were the number 2 attack with almost 1,800 points scored.
Yep.
And they were the number 1 defence with under 800 points against. Harrison Money, who we expect a lot from today. He is a small forward who plays tall with a man bun made out of dreadlocks, Gav. He kicked 64 goals last in 2019, and I think he's got how many goals in the last 5 years, Brash?
He's got over 100. He's got over 200, I think.
Over 200. He's definitely going. Their key players, Madison Andrews and Travis Tuck.
147 out of 50 matches.
So almost 3 a game.
Almost 3 a game.
Madison Andrews and Travis Tuck will run the engine room. Travis Tuck is very tall. He's like Hugh Greenwood in the AFL. Obviously, Travis played AFL himself, but that very tall inside midfielder might do a little bit of pinch hitting in the ruck should it get need to it. Matty Andrews is a multiple competition medal winner. He's a very, very good player. He's classy left footer, moves around. He doesn't see, a bit like Jordan Lewis, never really had that burst of speed, but he's always in the right place at the right time. And Tim Gunn's another one to keep an eye out for. High half forward, does a lot of marking up the ground, but also has a pretty good goal to games ratio, Brash.
Yeah, 90 matches for 170 goals.
Now, their ins, Gav, this is a long list because what happened was a lot of players left Berwick when they weren't allowed in 2020 and went to Noble Park. So they actually had Anthony Burr, Anthony Valla, who was from Cranbourne. Those two went to Noble Park. Trent Thomas went to Noble Park. Bryce Rutherford went to Noble Park. They've all come to Berwick now. So they've actually recruited by the fact that a lot of other guys in the southeast are able to leave and go to Berwick because they're not going to play against their mates. So there's some keys. Luke Shepherd returns from injury, their captain. He missed 2019 with a knee injury. Bryce Rutherford, I don't think is playing today, but he's another one who returned from injury. And Michael Risley, who played at Berwick during their successful period, went back to Rory Alec in 2019, his home club, was listed to play with Upper Gully in 2020, but with Berwick coming in, has gone back to the Wickers. And the only losses they've had are Lucas Jellyman Turner, a good defensive half-backman there. He's gone to Queensland, whilst Ash Smith and James Magna, both with AFL experience, have retired. Brash, what have you got for us on the Wickers?
Where do you want to start? That's the thing.
Well, there's controversy about where they sit and why they should be allowed into the competition, Brash.
Well,
can you debunk that for us?
Well, I can. All right. Let's just look at it. Normal season: 2015, 13-3; 2016, 14-2; 2017, 16-0; 2018, 13-3; 2019, 14 wins and 2. They've gone over 1,600 points a season in 4 of those 5 seasons. They've finished no less than second in the last 5 years. The only 2 sides that have ever troubled them have been Cranbourne and Narre Warren. They probably, if we had a 2020 season, they probably would have won the flag in the Outer East. They've been averaging around 102 points a match. Their defence is one of the meanest on record with 50 points. They score heavily. They're big score breakdown. They score between 50 and 100 points. 1 in 2 games. They've won 24 games in 5 years over 60 points, 28 games between 30 and 60. So that is a testament to their goal scoring ability. The average winning margin in the last 5 years has not been anything less than 50 points.
Yep.
And then apart from that,
they have not lost by more than 60 points in the last 5 years.
No.
And I suspect that it's probably a smaller number than that.
First impressions after doing all the research on this team, first and foremost, the immediate thought was they'd outgrown the 2 competitions that they played.
Yeah, well, the South East competition itself, Gav, outgrew itself because there was only 1 division.
Yeah.
So what happened was, like our Division 4 at the moment, clubs would struggle. They couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't drop down. Hampton Park actually left to the southern.
Yeah.
Turin and Delmore were going to go to West Gippsland. That was why the Outer East or Yarra Rangers took them in, because it wasn't really for sides like Berwick and Narre Warren, who in the end dominated the division, the competition. It was more for your officers, your Duptons and your Pakenhams, who for years had you either finished 5th and lost the first final, or you didn't make finals.
Yeah.
They then were able to find another division, and I've spoken to a few of them, obviously in 2019, but also this season, and then they're excited because footy's got, they can be the big dog again. They don't have to worry about coming here and absolutely copping it. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. What have you, Gab? What are you interested in seeing from Berwick? Obviously, you wouldn't have much knowledge of them.
No, not at all. They are talking a good game off field.
Yeah, they are.
That's what
and look at it, it's a great crowd in.
And I don't have anything that I can say, well, you're lying.
Yeah.
You're not going to be that good. Watch out, you're going to be smacked in the mouth.
I think Gav and I were talking about this in the car, and I said to Gav after doing that, I thought that they a 6 to 9 win side.
I'd probably say 6, but it's closer to 6 than 9, but I agree, middle of the road.
But also, as Gav said, they're talking the talk up, but I think he goes, well, what do you think? And I said, well, I like it. I don't mind that they do that. I said, because I like it the other way around when it comes back to bite you in the backside. And look, good on them. I'm glad they are. And the thing is, you've got to be confident that you can't be coming into a new thing. Oh, we're not going to be.
You do.
You got to throw it out there.
I'm interested, Gav. When you say that, what are the things you're talking about that they've said that you've delivered so far? Obviously, we haven't seen them play other than the reserves in 19s.
I don't want to misquote, but I've spoken to a couple of people who live in this area, and they fancy themselves for finals. And that's the expectation this club has got from being a premier club in their competition. So they haven't studied where they're going. They just know they're a good club, well run. They win football games, and they've seen Balwyn, they've seen Noble Park come into this comp, and they have no fear. And until they see what they're up against, they nor should they have any fear.
They should.
Well, and they've played. I think they played Balwyn in a practice match a few years ago and actually were defeated quite handily. But they've played Roeville and Noble Park regularly in practice games, and I think they beat Roeville last year. And practice games are different. But yeah, I don't think I've only spoken to the president and the coach, and I think they might be a bit more circumspect. But I agree that I think in the back of their head they're pretty confident they're going to surprise a few people. You see comments on social media, Noble by 100, Berwick will get whacked every week.
No way,
they're going to be fine.
Do you think the Eastern Football League clubs that we now know
arrogance.
They're arrogant, yeah, and then we're talking about Berwick are confident. Well, good on them for being confident.
Yeah, and it comes from Eastern Football League. Everyone says best confident thing. So teams get in the Premier Division and think, right, and that just happens from your environment.
Yeah,
you know. Berwick, as you said, they keep winning. So why would they come here and think we're not going to win? Because they keep winning.
And the other thing is too, this ground's going to be a great leveller against for some of the other sides.
Well,
and they're going to come up.
Besides Noble Park, who else would play on a ground this size regularly?
None.
Doncaster East will get lost. They won't know what that other side is.
Let's get real. Travis Tuck. Martin, well, he's Martin-esque, is he? In Noble Park
I think
terms.
Kyle Martin, just because he's more recent, like his age.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of his presence on field, he when he wants to, he can be untouchable.
Matty Andrews, Snyder.
Yeah, probably Dano King, a bit more skillful than Dano King, but that similar sort of age bracket, and just he's been around forever.
Money at full forward. Who are we thinking?
So
I'm thinking Morrison.
Yeah, Morrison will go to him.
Yeah.
I think he's a smaller. He plays big, but he's small. You'll see him. He'll be one out, and you'll go, who is the midget starting in the goal scorer against Ryan Morrison? And the ball will get kicked high, and he'll stand on his head, or he'll try to.
Yeah.
He'll kick shots over his head. They've got key forwards. In Jordan Andrews will play as a key forward. They'll rest their ruckman. Tuck will rest down there, and he's about 195 centimetres. So. But Money's an enigma, and he'll be a hard matchup because it's confusing. Because you might go, well, look at the size of him. We'll put a small defender on him.
He's a bit
but then he'll beat them in the
Haley-esque.
air. Yes, he'll beat them in the air. Then you go, okay, we'll put Morrison on him. Then they'll kick it on the ground. He's a hard matchup.
Yeah.
Mark Williams of Hawthorn and Essendon fame is another one.
No, it's good.
The thing I'm interested to see is, okay, the big surface, as you mentioned, Brash, Noble Park will be fine. They play on it. But it's going to come into consideration for sides that haven't played finals as well in a while. So, for example, Vermont play in Bayswater over every year, so they're going to be fine. But a lot of clubs in Premier Division have small grounds. Blackburn, tiny. Vermont's pretty small. Baldwin's tiny.
And that was
Doncaster East, tiny.
Wasn't that the advantage that they carried when they went into the outer reach?
Yeah, I think the difference there was, we think they're going to compete in the Premier Division here, and they're playing against sides who would probably middle around our middle divisions.
Yeah,
but yes, the big ground got them. It just blew them up. Sides didn't know how to set up.
And you could bet your bottom dollar that you wouldn't want to be coming down here, Gavin, maybe rain 9 after 2 or 3 weeks of solid rain. That's going to be difficult.
Well, what you need on a big ground like this is you obviously need to structure up differently. You need runners, but you need to structure up in terms of your forward line. You can't just park the big fella in the square.
No.
You need to have high half forwards who take marks on centre wing to link the game. So watch Tim Gunn today for Berwick. If they get a move on, he will take a lot of marks just forward to centre wing. He'll be the link between Money and the midfield because it's hard to go one kick out of the centre.
And on a bigger ground too, this is your centre half forwards can get lost on these big grounds because you tend to over kick the ball.
Yeah. Or they get lost. They lead too wide. They lead too high.
So you're actually almost better off playing your centre half forward, maybe out of a forward pocket, so he leads up the ground.
Question: do you need a running side or a kicking style? When Noble Park were at the best, they weren't fast, but they kicked and they maintained possession to move it forward.
I think whatever you do, you've got to be really good at it. So if you run it, if you get on with a high handball like the Western Bulldogs, Gav, your favourite topic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's space. Yeah. But as the game wears on, I think Noble Park's 19's kicked very well, and they cut Berwick up early because there's so much room. If you're kicking games on, it's hard to defend because when you're zoning up and behind the ball, there's so much ground to cover. So
can you play tempo footy here? Is that what Berwick do?
You can play. Berwick last year, Reece Nisbet was the coach, a very aggressive coach. They switch a lot, and Clint Evans has said they're going to look for the switch. So I think you can play tempo, but like possessions footy is easy to play here because there's so much room.
Yep.
But the problem, like, don't be surprised if there's some games that finish 50-40 here just because the ground's so big.
Yeah.
Whereas when we go to ball and grounds like that, it's 120 plays 100.
Yeah. Do they attach one to the contest, the +1, or, which is just
Clint's a new coach. Reece Nisbet, they back their on ballers and they look to get it out to their runners. So on the wings, you had Trent Thomas played as a high half forward. Valor would play on the wing. Anthony Burr, both from Cranbourne, but they're good on the outside. Brennan, another one on the outside. Hillard off half back. A lot of run. Jelly Materna, who was there, would play off the half back and run it. And they looked to switch. But the beauty of them was that they had Andrews and Tuck, who was so big bodies, and Ash Smith and Magnan, that when they went to the Yarra Rangers clubs on these tiny grounds, they were still good enough to just to play inside footy. So they've got strength across the park. They've only gone down to 2. They've actually had 13 shots to 10 and gone down against Noble Park in the reserves. So like you said, Brash, I think they're going to surprise a few. I don't think they'll make finals, but I don't think they're going to be getting those big losses.
No way.
Although I've been in bad form with my tips.
Don't worry, mate.
Well, look, seriously, on tips, how can you know?
Well,
it's been 2 years since.
And exactly. Quickly on Noble Park, before we go to one final break before the first bounce, they finished 7th in 2019, 6 and 12, so a long way off 6 to a 10 and 8. They were the 6th best attack and the 8th best defence. Bailey Lambert was their leading goal kicker with 26. He's gone to Roeville, so bye-bye to him. Ziggy Orwin will replace him, you'd think, as a full target, but Ziggy's closer to the end than the start, Brash.
Yep.
Kyle Martin, 11 times in the best. Honestly, it's a travesty he's not won the Chandler medal. It's honestly beyond belief.
Yep.
He is so good. Ryan Morrison returns from Norwood, a great defender, so they'll be happy to have him back. The coach, though, has identified they're going to play defence first, so it will be interesting to see, Gav, if they play a tempo style on this ground with a high kicking game.
Yeah, I think their youth is what they're pitting their future on, but are they strong enough yet to take the on-ball roles that they need to take? Because
Kyle Martin and Sketcher, they can't play forever.
No, and these kids they've been pegged for high honours, and they look good, but men, youth in a men's competition, that's what people go, oh, this kid's just such a talent. It's like, but put him next to a man, he'll knock you down.
Quickly, before we go to the break, what's a pass mark for Noble this year? I know we don't know enough about them, but what's a pass mark for you, Brash? Are they still in the development stage where getting 7 to 8 wins is good, or do you want them to push?
I want them to go back up the ladder a little bit, but I'm still worried about the list that they've put together. I still think they're around that 6 to 8 mark, Matty.
Gav?
I'm worried. I'm worried for them. I think they'll win games. They're a big club. They don't get used to losing, and they don't tolerate it. Yeah. So that's what keeps them. New
coach though, so will he get a bit of breathing space?
Yeah. Well, not really. It's Noble Park.
Noble Park, isn't it?
Not in this one.
Right. We're going to go to our final break. What a build-up. Hour and a half. Beautifully done, guys. I told you, Gav, we'd run out of time still.
And we did.
We're here at Edwin Flack Reserve. On the other side of this break, the Berwick Football Club will finally make their debut in the Eastland Football Netball League. They'll be taking on local rivals Noble Park, and you can listen to it on the SEN app or on Eastern FM 98.1. Anyway, sorry, no ad break here, so I'm going to keep running you through. Ben Warren Smith's finally going to join us, I think, for the first time in 2021. After a late out last week, he's here. He's in the box seat. Ben, welcome back.
Hey.
Oh, how good is it to be back at the footy? I tell you what, a fair old hike out here. I haven't been out to Berwick since I went to Brett Beston's 70th.
Wow. When you I thought you were leaving Surrey Hills at 12 p.m. 2.5 hours.
Mate, the line to get in here is
massive.
Absolutely huge. It's a one car in, one car out situation. I drove up on the nature strip across the side there, but other cars have done that as well.
Did you say?
It's look, they're going to let it go today because it's the town is abuzz out here.
Oh no! Glenn Gambetta said 2,000. What do we? I reckon we're almost there. There's people in their cars over the far side of the ground as Lee's just panning around. Beautiful work by Lee Green, of course, back on board. There's cars over Lee's shoulder. I don't think he can quite get to them. He's going to give it a crack. Here we go. Look at that. We are packed to the brim. We've got people in front of us here on the wing. It's a massive day for this footy club. They've been waiting for a long time to get here. And Ben, I don't know, you've only been here a short period of time, but what are you gathering from this footy club?
Look, it's they're a big story, aren't they? And I guess they're such a successful club. It made sense that they would probably come in at Premier Division, and that you had other clubs in Division 1 who weren't too happy about it. But at the same time, if they had gone into Division 1 this year and wiped the floor with everyone, they wouldn't have been happy about that either.
It's lose-lose, isn't it?
Yeah. So welcome to the EFNL, the Berwick Wickers, and looking forward to watching them play out here. It's a big ground. The ground's in fantastic nick, as you would expect it should be. Most grounds are these days, since they went pretty much play-free last season, but they've had the cricket. But just the feeling of walking in the ground, it feels finals-like out here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's that excitement that's been building for so long for this club.
Could you imagine them playing in a grand final at Bayswater? I reckon they'd empty Berwick out and it'd all be in Bayswater for a day, wouldn't it?
Well, exactly. Just on this, I'm just going to reintroduce the team for those joining us on Eastern FM. We've got Ben Warren Smith and Gavin Casey, who will be calling today. Wayne Brasher's just taking the special comments chair, as he does almost week in, week out. I think Brett Besson and Ryan Long are just doing a bit of due diligence down on the boundary line, and I'm just going to be doing a bit of stats. We don't often have stats, and I thought, well, I'm here, I'm doing nothing else, I may as well join in the fun. So
I reckon
do a good job. You've got it for the year, mate.
I reckon the interesting one, Matty, might be the inside 50 count.
I'm just making my makeshift stat sheet, as I've decided this very, very late. Well, inside this might actually be one of the few grounds in the east that actually has 50-metre arcs. Mitcham last week claimed 45, Brash. We were there. There was no way that's 45.
Mark's in 50 as well, please.
Yeah. Mark, so what stats do we want? Go on then.
Boundary.
Oh, we got Besto down there on the boundary and Ryan Long. Take it away, boys.
Thanks, boys. Just a couple of late changes in terms of jumpers. Ali ZJ Yilba ZJ is wearing jersey number 59. Just bear that in mind for Noble Park. And I'll hand you over to Ryan, who'll give you the Berwick changes today.
Yeah, just a few Berwick changes. Tom Brennan, who usually wears number 12, will be wearing 32 today. Joseph West wearing the number 25. And Michael Risley is now wearing 50 instead of his usual number 20.
Thank you, boys. And what are the conditions like there, boys?
So I was just going to mention, Matty, overcast, but it's quite pleasant down here. There's just a really light breeze. It's not going to be a factor. The ground is nice and firm, and they are forecasting a shower or two, but I reckon we'll get by today. It looks pretty pleasant down here. Typical early winter game conditions. Thank
you, Besto. Thank you, Ryan. Good luck down there on the boundary. Looks like we're all in readiness here, Brash.
We are.
Quickly, guys, before we go, tips. You almost swung me, Brash, but I'm going to stick with Noble Park.
I'll go with Noble Park on this one.
Gav?
I'm going to go with the new boys. Berwick, welcome to the EFL with a win, first round.
EFNL, but no worry.
Oh, sorry.
FNL.
FNL. I tell you, I'm going for Berwick by under a goal today.
There we go. We're all in readiness.
You couldn't have got it even more evenly split there.
Exactly. We need a fifth. The problem is boundary. What Besto, Ryan? What have you got?
Noble Park for me, boys, all the way.
I'm actually going to take Berwick. I'm loving the atmosphere here. I reckon the crowd will get behind us.
Besto, what number change was Ziljaya again?
59 BWS.
I think
we've got that updated.
I think they double changed. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you, boys.
He was down as 22, but I believe he's wearing 59. But we'll check if they've triple changed. We can bring you up to date with that.
We're all ready. Okay, we're all in readiness here at Edwin Flack Reserve for the debut of the Berwick Football Club in the Eastern Football Netball League, and it's also Premier Division returning to the Eastern Football Netball League for season 2021. So, Gav Casey, you're back. You're back in black, mate, and take us away.
Yes, we're about to get it going for 2021. The calendar has turned and we're back. Football at the local arena.
It's only fitting that Gav Casey, the Clinton Gribus Award winner of 2019, is the man to take us away for the start of the first Premier Division game of season 2021.
And one of the champion clubs of the Outer East is now on the inner in the ENFL. Or EFNL.
Yeah,
I'm going to get it right soon.
It's all right. And like we said, Brash went through so many stats. They are genuinely the premier club of this region. And only recently, but nonetheless, the size of them, it's enormous. It's a growth corridor too, Brash.
It is.
Love having Brash's stats back this year. There's no doubt about that.
It's gone to another level.
They're still coming through the gates. Get down here if you can.
This is one of the best crowds I've seen in many a year at a local football arena. I'm telling you, you've got to get there.
Edwin Flack Reserve. The umpire holds the ball aloft, and here is Gav Casey to take us away with the first quarter.
To the right, go Berwick in the blue and white against the yellow and blue of the Noble Park Bulls. They are local, but this is the first encounter of a natural rivalry. We're ready to go at Edward Flack. The umpire just holds the game up. He's getting the buzz going. They're prowling the centre circles of the rucks. Noble Park, Kieran Byers. The ball's held aloft. This is the start of the season. Berwick, new dawn for EFNL football. Byers wins the tap down. At ground level though, it's butted up by the Berwick ruckman. Kick off the ground. Hand pass out the back to Vella. Vella goes out wide. Misplaced hand pass. McConnell gets in the way, but he's tackled to the ground on the wing. Travis Tuck gets his first go at the ball. Mohican hairstyle on the wing with the EFNL logo, and they fly in. It's a holding the ball decision. Quick to play on is Hillard. Hillard birds inside 50. On the bounce, doesn't get to the leading option. On the bounce goes Fairbank. He runs out of a tackle. In open goal from 10 metres out. The Bulls are on the board, and they celebrate their first for 2021. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's Noble Park 1 straight 6, leading by that.
Excellent piece of running there by Noble Park. They ran in numbers into that forward line and created opportunities there, and a lovely goal.
Fantastic stuff. We've got a number 10 out there for Berwick, if the guys can...
Harry Money.
Harry Money, one of the best names going around, there's no doubt about that.
I think you'll like him a lot, Ben. He's your kind of man, I think.
I actually was talking to someone who's friends with him last week as well. So we'll see how he can... he looks like he's got a bit of flair at the fall of the ball inside the 50. Umpire throws it up now. It was almost going up unattended that time. There was Byers, got a knee in at the fall of the ball. There was Valla, got the handball away. This is good. Cirulis, the big ruckman, dumps it ball inside forward 50. Had some good carry, mopping up nicely. Thomas goes for goal and he pushes it to the right-hand side. That would have been an answer, wouldn't it? And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the first blemish of the game, that goes to Berwick. Just let me down there.
You were winding up so beautifully.
I was about to bring this stand down, baby. As 5 points is the difference as the ball comes back into play now. Thumping kick in towards the middle of the ground. But it doesn't look like the breeze is really paying either way here, but both sides getting a fair bit of purchase. Out the side there, the Zig got the handball away out to Sketcher. Neat kick up towards the half-forward line, bouncing up towards the school bus. And she goes over the boundary line and out of bounds.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Little or no breeze down here, PWS, just very, very light, really not favouring either team.
Boundary throw in 55 metres around for goal for Noble Park. They're on the scoreboard. Bendigo Bank scoreboard reads Noble Park 1 straight 6 leading. Berwick 1 behind. Tackles fly in. It's a tight contest early. And a good tackle there by Marsden. As the ball's been picked up, given back to the umpire, so it's just outside the attacking area. Held off the ball was Andrews, champion of Berwick. The quick play on, taken away from Andrews, goes to the wing, spilled mark, and it goes out of bounds. So to centre wing, outer of the Edward Flack reserve. First Olympian for Australia, Edward Flack, and it's great to be here. On the left, Manica Road end, and the Michael Court end at the right where Berwick are attacking to. At ground level, ball's a disputed one from the boundary throw in, and it goes again out of bounds for another go at it.
Stoppages and clearances will be key early, because as the game progresses, they'll start running on petrol tickets.
Looks like a good contest between Byers and Cirulis. Cirulis close to his own goal line, knocks it forward, but Byers gets on his hands and knees, can't pick it up, lets the smaller players in, and Tuck is buried into the ground with the ball underneath him, and we'll have a ball up outer wing here at Edward Flack Reserve. Rucks go it again. Byers, good positioning, knocks it down to a running player. Quick kick forward. On the bounce, it's just kicked off the volley from the Wickers. They try to get it going out of defence. Now it opens up. It goes towards Valla. He's a runner.
Nice.
He's got a hand pass over the top into 55. Long kick from the point kicker. Thomas to the goal square. Running back with the fly. Mark taken.
Kick.
And the Wickers look like they'll get their first on the board, as the player Mooley was running with the fly to the ball with a great kick from Thomas.
I think it's Burgess. But a great call, mate. It was a beautiful play.
Burgess from the top of the square. He dinks it over the goal umpire's hat, and Berwick are on the board for 2021. That is the first in their EFNL career. 1-1 straight Berwick. They lead by a point on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Exactly what the coach said. They were going to do the switch that created the overlap for Valla, who's been very prominent early. A lovely kick by Thomas. It looks like a free off the ball here.
There's a free coming. the way of, I'm going to say Berwick at the centre bounce.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a shot.
And it's going to be a 50 as well.
Yep.
So now it's going to go right to the, about 25 metres out. Jordan Andrews will go for 2 in
a minute.
Less than a minute.
Yeah.
Less than 10 seconds, really. Put it that way. Tell you what.
Bit of feeling.
One way to fire up a home crowd, isn't it?
Yep.
So, without the ball even being bounced, Berwick have a chance at their second, and he makes no mistake. Jordan Andrews gets his first. Berwick get their second on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 5.5 minutes into the first term. They lead by 7 points.
You just don't want to be given easy free kicks away like that. That's really undisciplined early on, and I don't think Coach Steve Hughes will be happy about that.
There's been feeling in this all day, though.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of scuffles in the reserves and the 19s, so obviously there's no love lost between these two sides, despite it being 60 years since they played each other.
Well, that was a big encounter 60 years ago, I hear.
Yeah, that's when Besto was 10.
Yeah, well, they're still talking about it.
Cerulis goes up against Byers, got a little knee in that time. The Berwick ruckman got the knock down. Marston came charging through, dispossessed of the football, held onto. The umpire said, got the handball away to Sketcher, who loves to take off up towards the half-forward line. He poked it in the end, but a strong mark has been taken there. They've got numbers inside. It was a shocking kick. Berwick had the numbers and the forward ball. Here's Fairbank. Handball backwards. He put his teammate under a lot of pressure, but Marston had the class, the skill, but not the accuracy, and he pushed it left, and it went out of bounds on the full left forward pocket at Noble Park's end.
Amazing when you get a guy like Jack Sketcher who just is very creative when he gets his hands on the ball.
So it's deep in defence for Berwick, holding up nicely early, leading by 7 points. Kick outside defensive area, but Byers has been impressive in the ruck for Noble Park. Again holding front position, takes the mark, 55 metres out from his goal. He can arc with freedom with the new rules for the man on the mark. Long kick inside, Flyers go at it, ground level ball. Ziljai will get onto it first, picks it up, rides the bump, hands off. Now it's an open ball, Bull trying to bull his way through, and the bumps keep flying, and Berwick are standing up to the heat in the kitchen. Now they clear their decks. It's a one-on-one competition at centre forward. Ground level ball, Marsden picks it up. He is slippery at best of times. He hands it off to Bull. Bull goes backwards, and it's in Morrison's hand, who's steady at half-back, and is pinpointed one in between 3 Berwick players, and that one is McDonald, who quickly reels onto his right and short passes it forward. Nice mark taken by Scott. Scott now, he just goes on his arc. He drills a low ball in. It was a dangerous one because there's a heap of wickers. Ground level ball picked up by Ziljai nicely. Now it's off to Martin. Kyle Martin, all class, and Fairbank on the stretch takes the mark 40 out in the pocket.
He's got some zip.
Like the look of him. Fairbank.
You were asking before the game, Gav, whether you think sides will play kicking or running game. It looks like Berwick are going to run, but Noble Park are kicking a lot more. And as you said, Sketcher, Brash, a great kick, but already there, Martin kicking. They look like Morrison off half-back. They want to try and hold the ball by foot. So
from 40 metres out, Fairbank kicked the first goal of the game. Now from a set shot, we'll see his credentials with the right boot, puts it to the teeth of the goal, might drop short, and the defence are there. They knock it forward instead of back, and it's now conceded.
It's a goal.
It's a goal off the ground, and they're all talking.
No, it's a goal from the kick, so it made the distance.
Oh, okay, because it didn't look like a goal.
It looked like it from here.
Okay. Well, I'm getting mixed messages from the goal umpire, except that it's a goal.
I think Ben's right. He knows the goal umpire. He just was barging blokes out of the way on his way back to the centre of the goal line as they were still scrapping.
Yes, fair enough. Fairbank with 2 goals gets Noble Park to 2 goals straight. 12. They trail Berwick 2-1-13 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 9 minutes into the first quarter.
This is entertaining, Brush.
Yeah, good game.
Oh, this is a real entertaining contest here. Both midfields are really throwing each other to the sword here.
So Mooley went up this time against Byers, who's knocked it backwards, beautifully done. The zig on the left boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. Over the back there, Fairbank might scoop onto this. Bouncing football, charging through and copping one high. That time there was Scott. They're going to let's go and get back. No, it was Fairbank, who's just all around it at the moment. He's kicked 2 goals and he spots up a target inside ball 50, and you just cannot leave your opponent unattended in those circumstances, can you? Let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston. Is lining up a goal is Benny Marston.
Just really quickly, boys, you can see the physicality from Berwick. If nothing else, they've come out there and they're really going to try and stamp their mark on this game.
So Ben Marson, there's several players with the shaved sideburns out here today.
You're going with that look, aren't you, Ben?
Since 19...
At the top.
So, starts his approach from just inside the centre square. 45-degree angle. A kick from just inside the arc. Leans over it, starts it right. Is it working its way back? It was, but just not enough. Through for a minus score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And it's all square out here as we cross the 10-minute mark of the first term, Matt Fodia.
In terms of stats, Noble Park already 7 inside 50s and they've had 4 clearances to 2.
Stats that matter today. Kicking this time by Van Hout for Berwick out towards the half-back line. A little kick off the ground. It was a fresh air shot in the end, but they've scooped upon it nicely. Out towards Gunn on the right boot, up towards the half-forward line. Bouncing football. Couldn't be taken there by Haynes, and it goes over and out of bounds. A big crowd over that side as well.
Yeah, they certainly know it's a big home ground advantage there because they certainly know how to play this ground, Gav Casey.
Plenty of utes out here as well. A lot of car yards out here in Berwick. As it comes in this time. Gaines tried to give a flick over the back, but taken this time by the Wickers. The kick didn't go far enough. The umpire said play on, so they'll square up here. Noble Park Sketcher. He looked like he was going to give the handball off, but he went back on the right boot, then just poked it up towards the half-forward line. It wasn't that crash hot in the end. They've got the numbers, though. The Wickers this time is nicely done there by Risley, but it's stolen this time. Here's Marsden on the left boot. Squeezed a kick up towards his brother's position in Jordan.
I think there's 3 of brothers.
There is 3 Marsons today. Here's Geordie up towards the top of the goal square. That is a perfect kick. Absolutely centimetre perfect. You have to get down low, Big Liam Scott, but he did the job, and I tell you what, he can't miss this one, so expect them to regain the lead here, the Bulls.
Who's that defender from Berwick? That number 16, I think that's Luke Shepherd.
Yeah.
He's obviously had 2 years off because he missed 2019, but he'll be pretty disappointed with the way he just sort of let Scott have a free run at the ball there, Brash.
Yeah, they have, and they've let that happen a couple of times, Berwick, so they're going to have to tighten up.
So in he comes, Liam Scott. You've just got to kick the ball straight. Don't worry about any breeze, and he does just that. Straight over the goal umpire's head it goes. That's his first. Noble Park have 3 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 12.5-minute mark of the first term.
Yeah, good signs here for Noble Park as they're moving the ball quite nicely into the forward line. The one thing down here, Brett.
Just quite a bit of movement on the benches, boys, and expect that to be the case throughout the day. It is the first game of the season, so there'll be a bit of fatigue sitting in, but both benches pretty busy in this first quarter.
It's exciting going forward for Noble Park. They've got a bit of run around the edges of the pack. And then they've got a new ruckman in the centre going against Cerullis. Cerullis is taller, knocks it down. Good tap. Kick goes forward. It's marked by Thomas at half forward. Thomas on his right goes the leading option. Bounce of the ball didn't suit. And it's that man Money getting onto the ball. But he's taken it out of bounds when he's grasped it. And he had some support from Burr, but it just landed in between the two.
Yeah, I think Money might have called him out at the last second because it probably was Burr's ball.
It did look that way, but Money really gets preference, so he's right away here at Berwick for Money. Ground level ball again and crashing to the ground. It's another out of bounds. Physically it's a good contest, and Gaines was pushing himself around. Cerullis just said, we're going to go up in the ruck, so I'm going to push you over again. And it's funny, in the ruck contest, they hardly want to touch each other. Now, the ground level ball at the back. It's picked up by Andrews. He's picked up in a tackle, and it's holding the ball. He really didn't have prior, but the tackle was so fierce.
Dropped it like a hot potato.
That's why McDonald's got it at half back, and it's a 50. That might have been some sledging from the Berwick players about the hot decision, and it's not much of a 50, so we'll go to the real estate agents around Berwick for that one as the ball flies inside forward, and a ground level ball picked up by Hillard. Out of trouble go the Wickers, now stretching and taking the mark is Heddles. He's looking for options. He's got a runner, and they will burst through the middle just as picked up. Andrews picks it up. Matty Andrews, long ball. Thomas all on his own, 30 metres out, and he takes the mark, gets knocked down. He might as well go to the line, walk to the line, but the umpire, well, nothing to see there, says the policeman, as Thomas picks himself up. Oh, sorry, that's Burr.
Gav, it's another example of how the two teams want to play. Noble Park, again, they're looking to hit targets and they've done it pretty well so far. But Berwick, every chance they get, they just move it quickly to this wing and try to get out the back. And when they've done it, it's worked out pretty well.
So Burr was left alone after a fast transition through the middle as the runners come off half back. And the kick is a wonky one and it goes out left. It's a miss from Burr. And it's another minor score for Berwick. They move on to 2-2-14, trailing on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at Noble Park of 3-1-19. 15 minutes gone, first term.
McDonald from the last line of defence weighs up his options. Big left foot kick. Thumps it out towards the centre half back area, but standing strong in front there was Hillard. He's going to take off on the right boot. Kicks it inside forward 50, getting down low. Couldn't take the money that time. There was money over the top. Nicely tackled by Thomas. That was sensational on Anthony Marson, and he's been rewarded for just that, and he will have a shot on goal.
You got to like both sides the way they're attacking the contest here. There's no beg your pardons whatsoever.
So he comes in now. Thomas sets sail for goal. Look at that, a lot of power, but it went left, and it's a one behind. Excitement building. The sitting out, standing up in your chair, and then sitting back down again.
It's twice Thomas has let you down.
Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 4 points is the margin. The Bulls have the lead, and the Bulls also have the ball too, with the club champion Kyle Martin, who's going to be the skipper who takes the pill this time. Kicked it out, stolen there by Hillard, dumps the ball back inside forward 50, big fly over the back that time. Noble Park had the numbers, just barging through there and kicking it left. All they're peppering the goals, aren't they, the Wickers at the moment?
That was Travis Tuck, and that's what we talk about, Gav. When he wants, he can just turn it on.
It's going to be great to see those prime men. Martin for Noble Park, Tuck for the Wickers. As a short kick might be errant. Oh, it just makes the target in the back pocket. If you're going to go short, make it hit the target. And Kyle Martin was made to work for it in back pocket. Takes the mark. His kick is a precision one, just gets to Ziljai, and he kicks it under heap of pressure out to the half-back flank, out of side, but running onto the mark is Scott. Scott now loads off a hand pass. They're running now, are the Bulls. On the run is Bull. Bull goes to centre forward. Now it might break down and it falls into the hands of Arfison. And here goes the run of Berwick. We know how dangerous they are on transition. The kick goes over the head and it's out of bounds. It just falls short when Jordan Andrews couldn't pick it up and run at half forward.
They've caught Berwick, they've caught Noble Park just a little bit going, pushing too far ahead up the ground a little bit, and they've been caught at the back.
Playing the slingshot, I think, bro.
Yeah.
Boundary throw in, about 80 metres from goal.
Shake and bake.
And it's Berwick at ground level with Tuck. He takes on tacklers, just gets the hand pass before the whistle blows. Now they might be off and running as Andrews is taken down in the tackle. Madison Andrews this time gets taken down in the tackle, but it's out of bounds and a boundary throw in half forward for Berwick.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today. The SEN app and 98.1 Radio Eastern. This is EFNL Game Day. First term Premier Division football. It's great to be back, isn't it, out of Berwick today. Little handball outside, stolen though. Here go the Wickers inside forward 50. Kick goes up about 30 metres out from goal. They've got the numbers though, the Bulls. McDonald on the left, squeeze to kick out. Marson of the Jordan variety this time. Kicks it in towards the middle of the ground, but they're coughing it up. There's been a few turnovers from both sides early in the piece, but Nick Hillard got the handball away. Nicely done. This time they go through Arthurson up towards the weak position. The ball just sat up in the end, but front and centre, nicely done there by Valor. Backwards to go forwards. They've just got to spot up a target here. The kick goes upwards towards centre half forward out, and the man bun couldn't quite get down in gun, and over the boundary line it goes for a boundary throw in. One of your great games as you go local for your football this afternoon. Keep us up to date via Twitter. We want to know what's happening in all 5 divisions across the EFNL today. Picturesque Saturday afternoon as the ball comes out. Valor at ground level. He had to meet the Zig though, who has given a little bit of a shirt front, but also then copped one for his troubles. So Ziggy Elwyn, one of the favourites of the media team for a very long time. As is this man Kyle Martin. Dyson Baker's still got a poster of him in his bedroom.
And his office.
Kick goes back in towards the defensive 50 here. McDonald got it away. They're going to use the far side of the ground this time, up towards Pal. He paddled it to himself. Little handball over the top. It goes. He might go for the 1-2, but running inside inboard will put themselves under a lot of pressure. And holding the ball is the result.
And it's Berwick holding up in defence as they look just for transition football, a bit of a switch, but it's been well clogged up by Noble Park, so it's only a short option to the wing, where Andrews has got it. Gives us time to go to our boundary riders. Ryan Long is down there for us.
He's actually Brett, boys. Just a couple of the big Noble Park stars coming off for a rest. Martin and Sketcher have both been very prominent in the game. Looking pretty tired. A little bit sort of worn out after the first quarter, but they're both coming off for a rest, so expect to see them back on pretty soon.
Thank you to Brett Preston.
Great to have Besto back.
Yep. There's a lot of prodigal sons returning to football after the absence that we've had, so it's fantastic to see some old favourites all around media team and on the football field, as the ball didn't really travel too far. Noble Park won some ground, but again it's on that outer side that it's getting caught up with the boundary umpire getting a bit of a workout. Byers taking ruck duty again for Noble Park.
Some solid ink on Burr, who's just run back onto the ground.
Again, Byers' front position hard to displace. He gets it down to ground level, and now the ball will fly out for Glenn. Glenn goes long inside 50. It's a sparse of Edward Flack, and Noble Park haven't got the numbers there until late, and they come in too fiercely and give away a free kick when they do get to the area, and picking himself up with the ball is Hillard.
It was there. It was definitely there.
He's got a short on. He's trying to just execute some run through Graham. Graham's been held up though. So good manning by Noble Park. They've got the zone working nicely. They understand Berwick like to slingshot, so they've set up a bit of a mid-ground zone, I reckon, just to stop that.
Yeah, well, you saw there, Graham, he wanted to give the handball off, didn't have an option, and they just bomb it out the far side, whereas Noble Park look a lot more comfortable when they have to use their feet.
So the kick that went out wide didn't hit any target, so Berwick and Noble Park outer wing ruck contest. Again, Byers bumps his ruck out of the way, knocks it down to ground level, but the numbers around the contest are with the Wickers, and they come in with the tackle as it's Andrews executing that one this time. It's a ball up just forward of centre for Berwick on the outer side. Quick hands by Andrews, punch forward by Noble Park. One way to get it going forward, and on the hands, McDonald just doesn't hit the target, but they're quick to get on the ball again at Noble Park. Short pass in, and it finds Is it Gaines?
Yep, Jake Gaines.
Gaines on the stretch takes a mark at centre forward. He's looking at options. He puts a long ball in. 1v1. It's a big contest. Wickers stand up to the pressure early and out of bounds as Ziggy Allwyn planted himself. Just got underneath the ball, I felt, and allowed the defender to come over the top.
Yeah, it feels like the wind might have just picked up a tiny bit, so that might have caught him out there. But they've had 11 inside 50s Noble Park for 3 marks inside 50.
But they've defended well and resolutely too, Berwick.
Time on in the first term here. 3 points is the margin. Noble Park have the lead.
Matty Andrews, big cut to the eye here coming off right now. That looks pretty nasty.
Taking his spot is Riley Heddles. So it'll be Gaines to go up against Graham in the ruck contest. Gaines does have the height advantage and the front spot. Ball held up a little bit. Little knock over. Here's Alwyn around the body. Ziggy, can he put it through? Bouncing through. Ball one behind. So another minor score. It's Noble Park this time. They lead on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 23 minutes gone in the first term. 3-2-20 to Berwick 2-4-16. The Wickers will be looking to go down the guts, or they went to the left-hand side that time. The big flyer waiting down there was Tuck. Couldn't quite take the mark. The umpire's blown the whistle here, and there might be a free kick, or no, he's going to have a ball up. But let's cross down to Ryan Long.
Yeah, just update on Madison Andrews, who came off with a bloody eye then. It's just been wiped up now. It doesn't look like it's too bad. Really need any stitches or anything.
Thanks, Ryan. As the Bulls go inside forward 50, it was a scrambling kick, but the man of the moment, Fairbank, can he just trap it? He knocked it back into play. That was clever. Under a heap of pressure this time, Bourne. Oh, it's still alive at the top of the goal square there for the Bulls. They're going in after it. Equal to the task, though, were the Wickers. Little handball away. That was okay that time by Arthurton. There's still the pressures there. Here's Alwyn. This way, that way. You're gone. Handball away and rewarded.
See, that was That was really good play there by Berwick. They were entitled to lose possession there, but they kept fighting and they were rewarded.
Yeah, Alwyn was taken in the tackle. He throwed it, trying to get a hand pass, and the quick kick out wide is Valor. He's a bit of a runner.
He's been good early too, Valor.
Played at Casey too.
He's half-back. Kicks over the man of the mark to the leading option. Big grab. Nicely done on the lead. And it's Muley, who outstretched Byers that time. So Muley's kick is a rough kick. On the bounce, it does get to its intended when you think about Tuck bursting onto the ball. But as he took on the tackler, he got taken down. And it's a great one by Woolgar. No, it's Marsden.
That was a ruckman's kick, wasn't it?
Jordan Marsden spears a ball, and it nicely finds his teammate in his brother, Benjamin Marsden. Just falls into the mark, now kicks long, 1v2. It does fall the way of Berwick at ground level, though. It's Panic Stations picking up the ball, quickly getting onto it is Ziljai, and he kicks a goal from straight in front. No, missed. It was touch, was it? Well, everything. I've got to get the umpires in touch with me because I'm missing everything that they're saying. There's another minor score. Yes, I will go to Specsavers. Thank you. It is Noble Park leading by 5 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 25-minute mark.
Van Hout out towards the Bendigo Bank scoreboard side of the ground as it comes out towards the man bunning gun. Couldn't quite trap the football. They're going to go inside forward 50 again here. The Bulls. Is there enough time? There is. Out in front. Harley Fairbank, who's already slotted 2 goals in this first term, will go back for number 3.
Sketcher once again.
He's good, isn't he, Sketcher? He's a tank.
He just takes possession of the ball and doesn't waste a possession.
He's got good shoes.
So we know that Fairbank we can make this distance. He was about 5 metres further out last time and just made the goal line. He knows how it's the breeze is working out that side of the ground as well. Comes in now, goes for it, pushes it to the right-hand side. And another minor score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard goes the way of the Noble Park Football Club. That's their 4th. 2-4 Berwick to Noble Park 3-4. It's 1 goal the difference deep into the first term out here on EFNL game day. Damn it, that's 1 for me. As it comes in now, Van Hout.
You're not in front, that's for sure.
On the left now, thumping kick it was. It carried every bit, scooped upon there by Byers. Thumped it on his boot, back in towards the Alwyn direction. A big fly over the back that time there by Arthurson. Couldn't trap the football. A free kick is going to be paid though the way of Fairbank. And the little forward again, who's causing major headaches at the moment for the Berwick backman, will have another ping.
Sporting a good mullet too, isn't he?
Aren't they all, Brash?
Oh my God.
Aaron Norton,
and it's Moulet.
And we all miss Gavin Casey just bringing in the Bulldogs too.
Reminds me of when I had hair.
When was that?
Oh, I want to see a photo of that.
Berwick.
As he goes for goal and he pushed it to the left-hand side. He's kicked 2 goals, 3 Fairbank in this first term. He's a live wire. And the margin is 7 points.
For those of us who were there last week, Brash, Monty South had a similar start to Noble Park. All the play and didn't put the score on the board. They want to make the most of their opportunities while they can.
Long kick out by Van Hout. Ground level ball mopped up by Bull, knocks it out the back, trying to open up play for Noble Park, but rushing onto it is Saroulis. The big ruckman just puts it on the boot and gains some ground really, and it's now at half forward for Berwick, so not a bad way of getting out of defence, but it was very rushed.
And another thing, that obviously learned how to kick over to the far side too and not the grand side too.
Berwick, yeah, it looks like that's the defensive side. Van Hout held the ball above his head a couple of minutes ago and they went that way immediately.
6 behinds have been kicked in a row. We're due for a goal.
Let's see what Saroulis does with his tap at ground level. It's a bit of a spilled ball, but trying to get it going was Valor. Now Matty Andrews picks up the ball and gets it into the forward line. Mark taken by Berwick, 40 metres out, tight to the boundary line.
That's your man, Gunn and Rod and Gunn.
Yep, Mr. Gunn. Let's see if he can be a top gun. As he kicks, he wheels into the corner, and he's been tapping his chest just as we're about to elevate my voice.
We're still due.
The goal umpire tapped his chest and said that's 1 behind, so Gunn misfires, and it's a minor score for Berwick, 2-5-17, trailing Noble Park 3-5-23, late in the first term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Morrison to Martin, back to Martin, back to Morrison. Way to build up your stats. Kick across the face of goal this time, Woolgar. Deep in defence for Noble Park. Kick out to the grandstand side. most of the play's been on the other side in this first term as the kick goes down towards the wing position. Coming out there is Alwyn. He just sat underneath it. He dropped a bit. He had enough of it in the end. Kicks the ball in towards the middle of the ground. They're on here, the Bulls, but applying a lot of pressure there was Andrews. Okay, up towards the centre half back line. Strong tackle that time there by Marson of the Jordan variety. He'll go after it again. He'll kick it out towards the Alwyn direction. He's brought to ground. Fantastic tackle there by the big ruckman, Sarulas, and he will read the recipient of the free kick.
He's been Berwick's most important player. When he's on the ground, they win the clearances, and he's just laid a goal-saving tackle there on Ziggy Alwyn.
Yep. Well, the first quarter in the EFNL for the Berwick Football Club. It's their home game today on EFL Game Day, and they trail at quarter time by 1 goal. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's Noble Park 3-5-23, Berwick 2-5-17. Goals to Harley Fairbank. He kicked 2 in the first term. Could have actually had 5 in the end. Liam Scott, the other single goal kicker, whilst it's Andrews and Burgess for the Wickers. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the SEN app and 98.1 Radio Eastland. 1 down, 3 to go. We'll see you after this.
4 minutes.
It's from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Decided to go with the mahogany with gold handles on the side and white roses. I think that should look really elegant.
I like how you can see it all.
Tobin Brothers Funerals' latest Memory Maker app gives you more choice than ever before. With the app's newest Build Your Own feature, you can now personalise your own coffin or casket. Choose the design, the colour, the handles, the drapery and flowers to match. Download Tobin Brothers Funerals' Memory Maker app from the App Store or visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
With Bendigo Bank's new Complete Home Loan, you'll be completely taken care of. With a completely awesome rate, complete offset on fixed and variable loans, and a home loan specialist completely dedicated to you. So if you're not completely sure about the Big Four, search Bendigo Bank Complete Home Loan or head into Bendigo Bank, the better big bank. Lending criteria, terms, conditions, fees and charges apply.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner, broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman, or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 30 seconds. Through Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He's circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Here we go, mic's on.
Local to your footy.
Yes, welcome back to Edward Flack Reserve here as Berwick debut in the Eastern Football Netball League. They're taking on local rivals Noble Park, and they trail the Bulls by 6 points. It's 2-5-17 the Wickers, Noble Park 3-5-23. The goal kickers, Jordan Andrews and I believe it's Joshua Burgess, have singles for the Wickers. Both came straight after each other after a free kick allowed Andrews to kick a goal without the ball going back to the centre. As for the Bulls, it's Harley Fairbank who's kicked 2 goals too. He has 2 majors and Liam Scott has the other. The stats, the Yarra Valley Choose Tap stats that matter. Tackles, Berwick 12-9, but you'd probably suggest that's because Noble Park have had the ball more brash. Inside 50s, and this is what indicates that, is 15-8 in favour of the Bulls. Marks inside 50 though, 3 for Berwick, 4 for Noble Park. So the Bulls will, as much as we've talked up their kicking game brash, they still need to hit their targets a bit better going inside 50. Clearances I've got even at 8 apiece, and free kicks 8-6. 8-6 Noble Park, but that's because of holding the balls. We're going to go down to Brett Besson and Ryan Long, and then we'll come back with Brash's thoughts.
Thanks, boys. Steve Hughes, the Noble Park coach. Steve, pretty pleased with that first half, particularly, I suppose, in all the key indicators, tackles, stoppages, inside 50s. You're leading all those, aren't you?
Yeah, look, it's a pretty 50-50 contest at the moment. There's a lot of pressure in the game, which we expected. Obviously, it's a pretty hot footy round one after 18 months. So, but yeah, we're pleased with where we're at so far. We've just got to probably just tidy up some of our tackling technique. And our entries have been a little bit, ugly, so we've just got to make sure we've got more options coming up at the footy.
Did I hear you say you're going to throw Jordan Marston into the middle?
Yeah, I love Jordy's work so far. We've always sort of originally saw him as a bit of an outside player, but his defensive stuff's really good. So we're looking for a bloke probably to give Kyle and Sketch a little bit of first use in there, so he'll do sort of the inside body work for us.
Great stuff. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, look, I agree with what Steve was saying there. Also, too, I just thought with Berwick, they were, like we said, we talked about, they were on the slingshot. They were trying to get Noble Park, especially that half-back line, to push up further over the centre so they could play over the top of them and run onto the contest. However, Noble Park are a very disciplined back line, and they've managed to actually reverse that process. I think Ryan Morrison's doing a superb job on Harrison Money so far, Matty.
Before we go down to Ryan, a couple of big scores from the Premier Division. Baldwin up by 21 points over Vermont, and Donny East up by 8 points over Blackburn. We'll go down to Ryan on the boundary.
Yeah, just quickly, listened in to Steve Hughes then. He's pretty happy with the pressure that Berwick has started off with. They've started to hit, they just need to focus on hidden targets. Their at-ball pressure has been good, and they really want to stop Noble Park from going through the middle, want to push them wider.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Other scores before we get into the bounce. East Ringwood up by 18 points over Wanturna South. Mitcham by 35 over Montrose at half-time, and Lilydale by 5 points.
Noble Park by 6 points, and Martin first to touch the ball and get it out of the centre circle, but running with the flight is the mark taken by Arfison, who's been good at half-back. He mops up a lot of times, injects some run into the side for Berwick. He goes to the outer wing as usual, but it's been picked off by Noble Park, and Ali Ziljai's hand pass just didn't hit the target and it's out of bounds.
A couple more scores. South Belgrave and Heathmont locked away at 2-1-13 apiece. Baronia by 4 goals over Mulgrave, and the Basin a similar margin over Templestowe.
Boundary throw in forward of centre for Noble Park. They're scurrying for the ball. It's popping around. Martin and Ziljai working together, but it's now gone the other way from a quick kick forward. Numbers support the Bulls, and the fullback being held off it. It's going to be a free kick to Woolgar. Quickly, they're trying to get some run. Noble Park, they look into the middle. Spearing pass goes to Marsden. Marsden gets it. Jordan hands it off to a runner. A lot of pressure. The switch is dangerous because it's not a certainty, as Valor got pinned for holding the man. His jumper just got pulled back as he was first to the ball at half forward.
Just quick before he goes inside 50, Donvale by 12 points over East Burwood, and Waverley Blues are coming. They've sent a message, 62 points up over Scoresby.
Wow, 1 quarter in. Valor, long kick in. Ground level ball. It's picked off by Thomas, and his kick has been touched on the line from the pocket. It was a good effort, but he needed more elevation on the kick to get over the last defender, and Morrison does some good mopping up work. It's now a 5-point game.
And then finally, Gav, sorry to interrupt, from the bottom division, Coldie by 6 goals over Churnside, Surrey Park similar over Nunawading, Kilsyth 7-7 to Croydon North yet to score, and Sylvan by 10 points over Forest Hill.
Morrison goes long, running jump at it, nice mark by Roscoe. He's looking out wide. He's got on the wing a nice short pass to McDonald. He's looking for another short option and he finds Scott. It's good possession play here for Noble Park. Where's the next free person? As Scott looks inboard. He's got shorts, they may be too short. And there's a whistle for downfield. What has the umpire seen to blow the whistle and give a free kick to the Bulls deep in their offence? And that really is a giveaway, just like Noble Park did early in this game.
It's probably an off-field indiscretion there, Gav. It might be at a scrimmage, like holding.
There's been a lot of them, though. That's happened all over the ground so far today, hasn't it?
So Noble Park get the ball propelled to 40 metres out in the hands of Gaines, and Jake Gaines gets a free kick 40 metres out, just straight in front. No discernible wind will push this offline if he kicks it straight. So he walks, gets into a bit of a gallop now, going to the Michael court, and it's a lovely kick. The hovering umpire just gets underneath it, now comes back and signals a goal for Noble Park. They extend their lead out to 10 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. It's 4-4-28 to 2-6-18. Good lead for the Bulls, the biggest lead of the day.
It was, and that was a really good piece of purposeful play there by Noble Park. They refused to be rushed. They were looking for, and they got their short game going. An indiscretion by Berwick, and you just cannot afford to do that at this level because you're going to get picked up, and they got a goal out of it, Noble Park.
Other scores, Norwood up by 22 points over North Ringwood, and Baldwin still holding 2-goal lead. South Croydon major leaders over Doncaster by 56 points.
Going after it and being brought to ground was Trap Tuck. Try to restart it now. Fly there by Gaines. Great ground level, nicely done there by Tuck on the left boot. Inside forward 50 he goes. He kicks it right to the top of the goal square, dropping what he probably should have taken there was Andrews at the fall of the ball. There was Powell, scooped upon by Gunn, got the handball away, but it was basically a throw. And the umpire saw it that way. And it'll be Haynes to give the handball off for the Bulls, who kick it out towards the half back line there. Sketcher, handball over the top. They'll use the far wing here, the Bulls, and the take off now. Ziljai up towards the Elwyn direction. You don't give Ziggy too much space because he'll make you pay for it. Something's happened off the ball.
Martin has just knocked his opponent down. I hope it wasn't worse than that. So the umpire 5 metres away just says that's a turnover for Noble Park.
Byers went to McDonald and they had the spare man too, the Bulls, so undisciplined play there. It'll be Luke Shepherd. My best mates who lives in Hong Kong's name's Luke Shepherd. Certainly not that fit. As he comes in now, kick goes up towards the half-forward line, dropping and going back with the flight. The umpire's paid a free kick the way of Berwick, and I'll tell you what...
It's the money man.
I'm not too sure about that one.
He played for it.
That is not a free kick. That is rubbish. But anyway, Harry Money...
If only you told us what you really thought, Ted.
No, it's just not a free kick.
As Brash said last week, they'd give him an Oscar for that, wouldn't they, Brash?
Yeah.
You wheeled that one out early last week.
Yeah. Now he's got to show us the money.
Oh, show me the money.
You didn't even get it right, Brash. So here he is. Harry Money comes in now. It's underneath it, pushes it to the right-hand side. And through for a minor score, Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 6 minutes tick over in the second term. A bit of a lull. What's the specialty out here at the canteen? Are we talking burgers, chicken burgers, pies?
Didn't see any.
Can't smell it. Can't smell anything. Maybe they just stacked the bar out here at Berwick. There's nothing wrong with that either. As he comes out towards the half back line, little handball off that time there by Hillard. They're scrambling their way through. Kick around the body, top of the goal square. Which way will this one bounce?
I think it That was Tuck.
It's Tuck.
It's Tuck who just barged his way through, and that bounce that just, hit the front of the pack, bounced up about 15 foot in the air. Over the top she goes. And one of the contenders for the goal of the day, there's no doubt about that, as they inch closer, do they, the Wickers, on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. With 7 minutes gone now in this second term, and it is 4 points the margin, 29 to 25.
Well, Noble Park would think that goal of the day being awarded by a sponsor, Tobin Brothers, that they were dead unlucky there with the bounce of the ball. Just really, one of the three should have touched it. That's just as simple as it was.
Really long run up at that,
Yes,
Gavin.
I was going to mess it up because I made a big deal of the build-up. But, you could see where the gag was going, and unfortunately delivery was dead.
We spoke pre-game, though, about Travis Tuck and Kyle Martin. They're different players, but they're both key players to match up. You saw there why Tuck's so hard to match up. He's so big and strong, but he's also so fleet of foot. So you got to pick one thing that you want to negate. Is it his contested ball, or is it his ball use?
He's about metres gained, and Berwick now go into the forward line, punch forward, running onto the ball is Gunn. He leaves it for his teammate. It's spilled out to a teammate. The Hillard is around there. Noble Park under a heap of pressure. Tackle off the ball. Marsden called for the umpire to pay, holding the man, and Anthony Marsden picks himself up with the ball after being awarded a free kick. He's got a short out wide. It's dangerous because there's a player just about to do the intercept, and now they're off to the races. Berwick go long, 1v1, but in the front it's Money. They're all Money. Open space. He just took the mark as all the attention went to Jordan Andrews.
First mark inside 50 for the quarter from 7 entries for the Wickers. And when are we going to run out of money gags?
Never. We will go.
Wouldn't put a price on it.
There's going to be a financial crisis before we run out of these.
Can't brush you up.
So Money, he's got his hoof on the till. As now Money has kicked like a horse. It nearly went out of bounds. It's a minor score, and Money, he's going into debt at this rate, as we are now. Berwick 3-8-26, trailing Noble Park 4-4-28. I've got many. You can't stop me. I'm sorry. It's 28 plays 26, Noble Park leading on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They've got to make the most of their opportunities, though, Brush, don't they? They're not going to dominate play for this long a period of time often, so they have to use it.
Well, Ryan Morrison got the ball back from over the fence, a little high five as well. I like it. So, winds up now on the left. Sit out towards the grandstand side. We've been waiting for it, standing strong in front and taking a good mark there was Arthurson. Certainly keeps his eye on the football, there's no doubt about that. Now he pokes it up, it kicks it out towards the Money direction again. Can he get his hands on it? No, he couldn't. At the fall of the ball, nicely done there by Hillard, got the handball away. Diving on top of it there was Travis Tuck. And the umpire calls for a restart, 25 metres out.
I don't know about you, Brash, but I think Money just spoiled.
Yes.
And Jordan Andrews had his name written all over that.
He did.
There was no need for two up there.
So, speak of the devil, here's Andrews who got pulled off the football, so a fresh air shot. Umpire said play on. Straight down the throat though of the big ruckman. Zarula's got the handball away. Here's Vaughan on the right boot, kicks it up towards centre half forward. It was just a little toe poke in the end. It wasn't flash at all. This time it was Stern. But Noble Park kicked it up towards the half forward line, but it's chopped off again. Kick to kick out here at Edwin Flack reserve. Handball over the top was dispossessed. Good pressure there applied by Ziljai. Got the handball away, and once again a turnover. Little linking up handballs. This worked out okay. Shepherd goes inside forward 50. Who's going to be the flyer at the back? Going after it was Haynes. He dropped what he probably should have taken. Then the big man hits the deck. The umpire will come in and bounce this one. It's a hot football out here in the forward arc of the Berwick Football Club. As the umpire throws it up, looked like there was a bit of holding there in the ruck contest that time. High up. Let play go. It'll handball away. Now it'll be Sketcher. No, that time Marston, I should say. Handball over the top. On the far side, little chip kick back in towards the middle of the ground. They're going to link up nicely there, but ball on the right boot. Inside ball, 50 they go, getting down low. You've got to hit those targets. It's all important there. As coming over the top there was Arthurson. Laid the tackle, second attempt. It was fantastic.
But what I don't like is the push and shove. When you tackle someone, just get up and take your own kick.
I never laid a tackle, so I never did that.
So the kick goes out wide on the bounce. Burr has to go back to his teammate in Andrews. Matty Andrews has got time to steady, and Balla on half back. does normally like to be the runner, but he has to kick it inboard, and he finds his teammate. And now, going forward is Brennan. Brennan goes long to centre forward. Money, well, late in the contest, but does pick the ball off the bottom of the pack. Tuck there to help him. Long ball is Andrews in good position. Ground level ball is Andrews. Bump flies in, out of the back of the pack. Berwick must goal if it gets that hand pass out. And around the corner goes the kick, and Gunn delivers a goal for Berwick. Just as the ball fell to the ground, they just needed to knock it to that one extra, which was Gunn, who's at the top of the square. Open goal, gets the goal.
Well, they finally got reward for effort, Brash. That's 10 inside 50s. They've only had one mark inside 50 this quarter, but 10 inside 50s, and they've only just kicked their second goal.
Once again, Travis Tuck, front and square there. He was the one that set it up with that long, penetrating, quick kick into that forward 50 arc, and it allowed the Berwick forward line to run onto the contest.
And they've hit the lead too, the home side. And they're up and about in the grandstand, there's no doubt about that. Restart here. Middle of Edwin Flack, reserve. Can they charge forward again, the Wickers? Well, Sketcher's going to have something to say about that as he drives the ball forward for Noble Park, standing strong. Good jukes. Benny Marston takes it 45 metres out directly in front.
Once again, Sketcher to the floor with that centre clearance, delivered the ball perfectly into the Noble Park forward 50 with a shot for Ben Marston on goal here.
It's a fair old run up he's going to do too, 30 metres.
Yeah, that'll probably turn into nearly a true 50 metre kick too here, Ben WS.
And then kicked right through the football to get it all the way. Ben Marston. Not on the scoreboard yet today. Leans over it and goes and goes, but heads right and through for one behind on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 13 and a half minutes gone here in the second term. It's a 2-point ball game. What a game it is. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the SEN app and EFL Radio Eastern 98.1 Radio Eastern as the kick comes back into play now, and the mark's been taken there by West. And he'll chip it over the top now. Little bits and pieces. Madison Andrews squeezed to kick out wide. Here's Thomas. Let me down twice in the first term with missed opportunities as the kick goes out towards the wing position. Scooped upon there by Bull. He was heavily met too. He's under a lot of pressure. They're feeling the pressure too. Sketcher. He'll mop up though for Noble Park on the left boot. Squeezed to kick out wide. It just couldn't quite find the target. Going down and hitting the ground pretty harshly there. I think that was Stern. Umpire will come in eventually as the players pick themselves up off the deck trap. Tucks in there.
Well, I was just going to say, he's gone to another level. He almost burnt down Jackson Sketcher there and then made the second contest. He's going to another level in this second term.
Well, here's another, well, it's going to be Elwyn to go over the top. It's a free kick to Noble Park. It could have been advantage there, but nonetheless, Anthony Marson. It's a Marson off out here today.
Okay, Russians, are they?
Elwyn kicks it strongly along the line. Mark has been taken out there. Roscoe, I think it was, Sketcher. He's had a lot of the football in the yellow boots. Gets the handball away. In the middle of the ground, they might go for the switch here. It's a scrambly old kick up towards centre half forward. Stolen there by Gunn. He kicked the last goal for Berwick to put them in front. That kick was an absolute shocker though. Getting down low and Bull got dispossessed. He had a fresh air shot, should have been pinged. Going in after it that time there was Haynes. The ponytail came out now towards Andrews, brought to ground. It's good umpiring, just letting the play go here as the ball scrambles up into the middle of the ground. Here's a chance though for the Wickers. Again, let themselves down with disposal. Charging over the back there, Arthurson. He picked the ball up. He went after it. You are gone.
Did he have prior, gents?
Yeah, I think he did for a second or so. He knew what he did. He picked the ball up. He should have paddled it out in front of himself as Jordan Marston this time on the right boot. And they're not afraid to get stuck into the umpires either out here at Edwin Flack as the kick goes up towards the half forward line. Kyle Martin, who's, if a Noble Park to win this game, he needs to probably play one of his best at this stage.
You can take the club out of country footy, but you can't take the people out of country footy, Brash.
No.
As Martin got pretty close to the man on the mark then and just ended up poking it up. That wasn't his best effort. Who's going to be at the fall of ball? Stern. He did okay there, Stern. Second effort, third effort, handball over the top and then copped one as well. So he'll have a shot on goal. The Noble Park, right forward pocket, 30 metres out.
They've been their own worst enemy here, Berwick. Some of their skill errors coming out of off that half-back
Yeah, I
line.
don't know about that handball before, Brash.
That was a paint handball. There was no purpose in that.
And it would hurt them, given the dominance they've had for the first 15 minutes of this quarter, if they let Noble Park off the hook with a probably unnecessary tackle.
So if he aims it at the left goal post, it should work back nicely here, Josh Stern. Comes in now and did not do that, so he missed it. So through for a minus score. Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 17-minute mark now in this second term. It's a 1-point ball game. The Wickers lead by 1. Brett Beston.
I think the Berwick supporters starting to get quite vocal, as Matt mentioned just before. And some of the comments directed towards the umpire, not that flattering, I'd have to say.
Whoa.
Big fly from Money on the wing, but it's come to ground level. Everyone's friend Powell nearly gets onto it, but it's come out to Morrison, swooping up perfectly, kicks around the corner and finds Stern. The miss kick goes well, and it's opened up for Noble Park. It's in half forward, running in an open goal. Roscoe lines it up from 45 and sticks it home. Big goal from the Bulls, and that is them getting back in the lead. Noble Park 5-6-36, leading Berwick 4-8-32.
Brilliant stuff there first, Gav, on the Powell. I like that. Go on, Brash.
Yeah, good vision there shown by Stern. Saw Roscoe coming down that far wing and pinpointed the pass.
Could have blasted long, couldn't he, Brash? And a lot of footballers would have, but that very good poise, as you mentioned. And like we said, that's going to hurt the Wickers because they've dominated the first 15 minutes of this quarter and just haven't put the score on the board. And the Bulls have shown their class there.
They'll be looking for the answer. Ali Ziljai makes his way onto the park. The umpire throws it up. Here's a chance for them. Marson, the Jordan variety on the left boot. An up and under kick, stayed inside the centre square that time. Is it in there? Roscoe went after it again. Little toe poke off the ground, and it'll be Noble Park in the middle. Handball by Martin. They're linking up okay here as the kick goes up towards the half forward line. It held up a bit in the breeze then. You really noticed at that time Arthurson underneath it. I think he's been one of the Wickers' best players. There's no doubt about that. Screaming for it out wide was West. Instead he's going to go through the guts. Not a bad way to go either, as Vaughan going to switch it to that far side of the ground, which we've seen a lot of the play so far today, out towards a big ruckman there in Cerulis on the right boot. Kicks the ball inside forward 50. Did a little bit of a wrong, and nicely done there by Haynes, who just copped it up though, straight down the throat there of Risley. Inside forward 50, he goes to Shepherd. Shepherd of the Luke variety kicks it to the top of the goal square. Money was at the bottom of the pack. A free kick has been paid for a push in the back, and it will be Noble Park. And as the Bulls fans breathe a sigh of relief as Woolgar gives a little handball off, and this time it goes to Morrison on the left boot. He goes out towards the half back line. Big fly. It's a 2-on-2 situation. The Wickers at the follow ball inside 450. It goes as a spearing pass. That was a fantastic kick, and the mark has been taken by Charlie Mooley, whose last kick on goal was a bit of a Mooley. And let's cross down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Yeah, just on the wind, boys, it has get up a little bit over. We can't quite figure out which way it's going. It's more of perhaps a cross breeze, and it's getting up and gusting, and then it'll drop. But it certainly has got up a little bit more in the last few minutes, and it's getting a little bit more overcast as well. So maybe some of that rain that was forecast could be on the way.
So Charlie Mooley, one sock down, one sock up. I like his style. Comes in now. He'll kick from 40. Just a hop, skip and a jump, really. Can he put it through? No. I tell you what, those posts aren't in too strong, because that nearly got knocked out of the ground as it hit it 3/4 way up. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 4 points is the margin. We've hit time on in this second term on EFNL game day. And they're quickly bringing the ball back into play here, Noble Park.
Glenn does some running, whacks through Martin, gets the ball back and spears a pass in. Short one to Jordan Marsden, got underneath it, was tackled in mid-air. Probably not the thing to do by Berwick, and a bit of feeling against Matty Andrews for doing it, but I reckon the ball was going to hit the ground anyway, so Matty Andrews probably could have weighted down and not tackled Jordan Marsden mid-air. Marsden's short kick finds his teammate and Owen.
Stats that matter?
Yeah, just going to say, just talking about Berwick's dominance, 13 inside 50s this quarter to 6, yet they've kicked the same amount of goals.
Ball's got it at half back. He's a steady player.
He's nailing these stats.
He can't get it off him.
It's like doing the dishes. You don't want to do it too well, or else you'll be stuck on it for the rest of your life.
That's why people buy dishwashers.
I've left it in to soak.
As the kick goes down the ground, and Haynes takes the mark, and it's steady as you go. For the Bulls, long ball and high. Byers is underneath. It was in the pack of three, and he takes the mark, standing tall. Hands it off to Martin. Martin on the run. Kick goes the leading option. Bounces in between all options. Picking it up off of the bounce. Nicely done by Gunn. Gunn shares it, and now Berwick turn it over through the middle, but they've just overrun it. Overshot the kick, and now Bull very good in close, but his hand pass was intercepted. Now the running ball goes from Shepherd. Shepherd goes out wide. Muley took the mark, nearly kept going. He's got options. Burr was on his own, but it's going to be the money man, smallest man on the park, but he's the single attention seeker, and it's hit the ground where Glenn mops up for the Bulls and is off and running as he gets the hand pass back. He loves waxing with a teammate, does Glenn. And the pass doesn't hit the target, it's out of bounds.
Big Charlie Muley, the ruckman, his brain brash was ticking over, but he just couldn't get the ball in quick enough.
No.
I'm about to bring the ball back in. Love seeing people out sitting on the back of utes with a tinny. Just makes me feel good.
Days of a bygone era.
It's happening now, right now. And Brash, I've missed this so much.
It's a free kick.
Free kick goes
what, in
way
the commentary or?
Of Luke Shepherd.
Well, I had Dyson laughing last week. That's a first.
He's got a breathing problem.
Yeah, he's aerobically challenged.
Kick goes up towards centre half forward. Just sat up as well there that time. Ball the ball, little handball away. That's okay. Andrew, scrambling kick, goes inside forward 50, over the back. Here is Gunn. He waited for it. He picked himself up, got the handball away. Snap around the body by Burgess. Can't put it through. Another behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've gone 23 minutes. In this second term, and it's a 6-point margin, 4-point margin, I should say, 38-34. Brett Beston, groundside.
No chance of money kicking that one, boys. He's just come off for a spell.
2 goals, 5 for Berwick in this quarter. See, they could.
We spoke about Tim Gunn, though, pre-game. Brash, you gave his stats on how good he's been for Berwick over the past 5 years. He's been instrumental at both ends of the ground. He does a lot of work.
Yep.
So Powell goes from one back pocket to the other, and his transition kick hits the mark. Woolgar has got a short on, and they are doing this well. Noble Park slowing it down because they know the slingshot can catch them out, and Bull has gone from half forward to half back to take a lot of possession. He's a steady player as well. Hands it off to Morrison. So from the back 50-metre arc, he doesn't hit the target. Will it be turned over? They're off to the races if Risley can pick it up, and his kick has dropped short, and Woolgar just runs onto the ball, and he left Jordan Andrews in his wake.
What's happening though, Gav, you picked it up. They're trying this kicking game, but that allows Berwick to sit back, and Noble Park's lack of a key forward, Brash, means that they don't have a get-out kick, so it's a dangerous game.
Alwyn's gone backwards, and now they are possessing in their deepest line. Woolgar's got it. His short might be chopped off, doesn't hit the target, but Powell, he picks it up, take it to the ground, holding the ball. If you're going to play a possession game, hit your targets.
That was excellent play there by
That's
Travis.
what we said, wasn't it, Brash? It allowed Berwick to set up, and then Travis Tuck, he's been everywhere.
He's played exceptionally well in this quarter, Travis Tuck. He's kept Berwick right in this contest with his pressure on the ball carrier in their forward 50.
So Tuck, he's like an ever-ready battery. He just keeps going and going. He's picked himself up. Left foot, straight through the middle. That is as straight as you can kick a football. And now they're back in the game, and they are leading the game. Berwick 5-10-42 for Tuck. They lead by 2 points. Noble Park 5-8.
But they've got to get some reward for effort because they have worked extremely hard in this quarter, Berwick.
It's crossed down boundary side to Ryan Long.
Yeah, just another focal point at quarter time by Clint Evans was capitalising when going forward. So that was a really important kick for them. Otherwise, they really wasted opportunities.
Always want to do it with the grandstand at your back as well. Everyone followed that one home.
Do Noble Park need to put someone onto Travis Tuck because he's pretty single-handedly dominating this quarter for Berwick. He's probably had 8 inside 50s himself and kicked 2 of their 3 goals this quarter.
They almost deserve another one and going to half-time a little bit further afield, but the Bulls have got something to say about that, don't they? Hillard just chipped it away. Here's McConnell, inside forward 50 he goes. Top of the goal square, the ball just sat up, and Baum showed courage there. Eyes only for the football. He'll kick from the right back pocket, just takes off a little bit to the races as he kicks it up towards the wing position. The big ruckman go up at it. This time Cirilla's knocked away from him, comes out now. Here's McDonald again, inside forward 50. That's twice he's got him. What a mark that's been taken by Arthurson. I called it out earlier. He's playing a great game so far.
That could be a mark of the day contender.
He's also Frankston VFL listed. Will Arthurson definitely was in 2019. I think he's still in 2021, so very talented player.
Yeah, it'd be pretty stiff to just get dropped off a list not having played a game last year. As it comes down at ground level now, forward ball. Here's Van Hout. Goes backwards to goes forward. His time it's been scooped upon. And they'll kick it out of bounds on the full, and almost a cracking one-handed mark. The can was more important than the footy.
Wrong option there by Van Hout. He actually ran back into play, into a nest of Noble Park players.
As it comes, Brian Morrison squeezed a kick down the line up towards the centre half forward area, or half forward flank I should say. Over the boundary line it goes, right in front of the barbecue out there. As the siren sounds to announce what has been a very entertaining first half out here at Edwin Flack Reserve on EFNL game day. There was only 3 goals kicked in that second term, and but nonetheless it's going to go right down to the wire, you would think. The finals, well, not the final score, the final score for that second quarter is 5-10-40, the home side, the Berwick Wickers over Noble Park Bulls, 5-8-38. The major goal kickers on the ground. It is Harley Fairbank. He has 2 for the Bulls, whilst Travis Tuck kicked 2 second quarter goals. There are only 2 second quarter goals there for the Berwick side. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the SEN app and of course on 98.1 Radio Eastern. If you're around the grounds today, send your scores through via Twitter and we'll give you all those important around the ground scores and talk about the first half, what's going to happen in the second, right after this.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener.
You're clear, we've got 4 minutes.
Nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Only 19 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout them a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Radio's #1 motorsport show is back for 2021. The Driver's Seat with Matt McKeldin and Stephen Johnson, covering everything from Formula 1 to V8 supercars.
Jack Smith from Brad Jones Racing joined us for an honest chat about his season so far.
You know, my teammates have had results and everything's going good, so if I could tell you exactly what it was that I needed to go better, I'd be very, very happy.
That's this week on The Driver's Seat.
Join Caroline Wilson and Corey Perkin for their weekly podcast, Don't Shoot the Messenger, filled with their insights into the latest news and a little sport, good local tips and plenty of recommendations on what they're reading, watching and whipping up in the kitchen.
Events of the past month have revealed a toxic work culture, a government that has tried to bury an alleged rape. These matters are not crusades by feminists, they're matters for the government. They affect all Australians.
I have, as you know, very unusually bad calves calves for boots. I can't fit into most boots. Well, I'm lying on the bed with my leg in the air so that, all the blood rushes out of my feet.
The ABC's decision to move the Q&A program to a Thursday night.
To borrow a line from it, you got 1 minute. Destructive call, ridiculous call. Why did they do a call?
You'll find the Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast on the SEN app or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He's circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys.
20.
Thanks, Nigel.
There's Eastland, proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland, live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Here we go, mic's on.
Go local for your footy.
Yes, welcome back to Edward and Flack Reserve for today's Premier Division encounter between the Berwick Football Club and the Noble Park Football Club. It is, of course, Berwick's first game in the Eastern Football Netball League, and they lead by 3 points at half-time, 5-10-40 to 5-7-37. Although our score was got 5-8-38, but we'll leave that matter for debate. I'm Matt Foto. I'm joined by Ryan Long and Brett Besson, who've been down on the boundary line for the first half. Gents, what have you taken down there at ground level?
Oh, look, it's been a terrific game, Matty. I mean, first game for these sides for the season. You wonder how the fitness is going to be later in the game because it has been played at a fairly fast pace. But, I mean, Berwick, you can't help but be impressed. The thing that got me about them was their attack around the football and their physicality. It was good in the first quarter and it continued in the second quarter, and they're really taking the game to Noble Park, and they're in this one right up to their neck.
Yeah, and one thing you really mentioned in that first quarter was how quickly they were moving on with the ball. As soon as they get it, they're off. And that was, again, something that they spoke about at quarter time, that they want to keep doing that. They want to just keep running with the ball and then actually capitalising with the opportunities. It was something that they didn't quite get done in that second quarter.
I think that comes down to the intensity of their game, as you've mentioned. I think by the time people are taking shots for goal, they're either on the run and under pressure or the set shots. I think the blokes are just knackered, to be fair. And a good comment about the fitness, though. I think Noble Park have run out each quarter better. That one was slightly better, but pretty much off Travis Tuck doing his own thing there. But in that first quarter, Noble Park looked like in that last quarter they could have kicked away, but inaccuracy cost them. In terms of stats, it's pretty even across the game. Tackles 24-16 in favour of Berwick, although you could argue that might mean they're second to the footy. Inside 50s are 25-22. They had 17 that quarter, but we've had 32 inside 50s to the left of your radio dial /screen down to the Manuka Road end. So something to think about there for size. Maybe that's probably the easier end. You said the wind's gusty, so it's obviously, if anything, favouring that end. Marks inside 50, both sides struggling, 6 and 5. Berwick the one extra there. Clearances, Noble Park on top, 15-11. But when Jesse Cyrillus is in the ruck, it seems to me that Berwick have actually got the upper hand when he's there, but their rucks fall off after that in Graham and Muley. And the free kicks, Noble Park 17-11, but a lot of them, as I said, are holding the balls.
Pretty sure, sorry, Matty, I'm pretty sure Clint Evans will be talking about those stoppages too, because he spoke about that at quarter time, and they were +4 in the stoppages at quarter time, and I think he said they were down by 4.
Yeah, so well, again, I'll be honest, I'm doing special length clearance, so I might miss a few, but yeah, from what I've seen, I agree that quarter, Noble Park beat them by 4 that quarter.
Well, they put Marston in the middle, and he did make a difference, and then you've got Sketcher and Martin as well, so that'll be something that they'll certainly be looking to. And the other thing, of course, is stating the obvious, but their kicking inaccuracy. I just hope it doesn't come back to bite them, because 5-10, they've had some opportunities, but they've just been a bit poor around goal.
So have Noble Park though, Ryan, and I think it's interesting to see the way the two teams attack. As we've mentioned, Noble Park are looking initially, when they can, they try to play tempo footy and spot up, but I think they're getting lost on this big ground. It's quite wide as well, without a real presence down forward. Brash was saying off air at quarter time he still thinks Noble Park are short at key forward or two. Ziggy Orwin's been good. Byers, I think, is it, when he goes forward, has provided an option, but they don't have that get out kick down the line that, although Berwick don't similarly have tools down forward, Money presents up the ground, Tim Gunn presents up the ground, and the resting ruckman in Muley or Cyrillus have actually taken a few good marks. So I think that's something, if Noble Park can find someone to present across the wing and half forward, that might link them inside 50 more.
They need someone like, this is going back a couple of seasons, but Hudson Thomas. who played here for Drew my last time in the media team, and he was always a good focal point. But as you say, they don't have that key forward now, so they're having to adapt to do other things and use their smalls.
And they're looking to cut inside to the midfield when they go forward, but they haven't been able to capitalise as much of that in the second quarter, and that could be more the fact that Berwick has stepped up their defence in that form.
Yeah, would you suggest that they've probably set up? Berwick are trying to their defensive, so they look like they're getting in position better and maybe cutting off the corridor and making the Bulls go around.
Yeah, definitely, and especially in that second quarter, because that first quarter, I think Noble Park pretty much in control of that. They were able to hit targets inside and be able to actually have a few contests up forward in that 50 forward 50
and deep inside
that was allowing them to have scoring shots.
Besto, if you're the coach of Noble Park, do you send someone to Travis Tuck? We obviously don't have his individual stats, but he's kicked 2 goals, he's had a number of centre clearances, he's laid a number of tackles, and with his height, when he rests up forward, he becomes probably the best forward in the game. So do you send someone to him, or are you just going to maybe put Kyle Martin to him and go, let's try and win this one-on-one contest?
Look, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because he certainly was the difference in that second quarter, and I mean, if he continues to get off the leash in quarter 3 and 4, that he's going to be the catalyst to Berwick winning this game. But I send someone to him. I might just leave it for another quarter, I think, and just see how we go. Maybe get someone near him, get someone on him, but then...
not a direct tag.
Not a hard tag. And then if he gets off the leash, well, mind you, don't want to leave it too late, but certainly watch out on that third quarter and then maybe go to him at some point if things get out of control.
It's a question, Ryan, of whether Steve Hughes is backing his side and his system to win the game, or if he is a bit worried now about the presence of Tuck and even a couple of their others. But Tuck's just seems like he's the standout player on the ground, and we said this last week, though, Besto, didn't we, that Mitcham actually didn't have any standout players, so maybe it's a good thing for Noble Park.
You just don't want to give him too much space, and I think that's what he got in that second quarter, and that's been the difference at the moment. So for me, if I was there, I would be looking at putting a bit more time into him. Again, you don't need to direct tag him, but just don't let him have that sort of space around the ball.
And then finally, guys, before we head off to a break, you were split down the middle, Berwick and Noble Park. Besto, is there anything that swung you back to the Wickers, and Ryan, vice versa?
Well, I was on Noble Park, so I'm still on Noble Park, but I don't know, it's just something about this Berwick team. The question mark I have is just the fitness and the intensity, whether the bigger body guys are going to get them in the end, but they're right in this game up to their neck, and if they continue to play the way they have, I tell you what, it's a flip of a coin.
Exactly.
Yep, I'm going to stick with Berwick as well, but they really need to start kicking a few more, because Noble Park's going to come back. That's not going to be it for them. So if they can start well in this third quarter, I think the home crowd here, they'll be hard to beat.
Absolutely. Well, it is a bumper crowd in here that you mentioned there, Ryan. Again, we haven't got an official number. I'll try and chase that up, but plenty of kids out there in the ground having a kick. Plenty of people up here on the wing.
You haven't had the abacus out, Matty, counting each one?
No, I haven't. But like I said, the president will probably give me an unofficial number that's a bit bloated, so we'll probably take that down a bit. On the other side of this break, though, we'll have the second half of this Premier Division game between Berwick Football Club and the Noble Park Football Club here on the SEN app or on Eastern FM 98.1.
Clear, 4 minutes.
Thanks, Nigel.
10 shots from 53 inside 50s, down on clearances and can't lay a tackle. What was the seniors coach going to do? Jono surprised himself and everyone else. The spray he gave the boys at halftime worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game feed and frothies at Eastland if they won. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Decided to go with the mahogany with gold handles on the side and white roses. I think that should look really elegant.
I like how you can see it all.
Tobin Brothers Funerals' latest Memory Maker app gives you more choice than ever before. With the app's newest Build Your Own feature, you can now personalise your own coffin or casket. Choose the design, the colour, the handles, the drapery and flowers to match. Download Tobin Brothers Funerals' Memory Maker app from the App Store or visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
With Bendigo Bank's new Complete Home Loan, you'll be completely taken care of. With a completely awesome rate, complete offset on fixed and variable loans, and a home loan specialist completely dedicated to you. So if you're not completely sure about the Big Four, search Bendigo Bank Complete Home Loan or head into Bendigo Bank, the better big bank. Lending criteria, terms, conditions, fees and charges apply.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your way. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered starters to share, plus frothies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Here we go, guys. Put the mic back on.
And go local for your footy.
Yeah, back here at Edwin Flack Preserve for the second half of this Premier Division clash between Berwick and Noble Park at the moment. It's the Wickers 5-10-40 leading the Bulls 5-7-37. Goal kickers, Jordan Andrews has a single, Travis Tuck has two, Joshua Burgess and Tim Gunn have singles for Berwick as well. Whilst for the Bulls, it's two to Harley Fairbank. He kicked them both in the first quarter, and then singles to Jake Gaines, Zach Roscoe and Liam Scott. Joined now by Wayne Brasher, Gavin Casey, and I think Ben Warren Smith's on his way back from the bar/canteen. Boys, what did you make of that first half?
Very interesting first half. I thought it was a game where you were waiting, Gav Casey, for Noble Park to sort of put the foot down. But to Berwick's credit, they kept hanging in there, and it was almost like at times when they forced the skiller off Noble Park, they managed to actually convert and go good on it.
If Noble Park had a big tall forward, they would be more than dangerous, and I think they could put the foot down and dash forward. But I think they're worried that every turnover they get at half forward can be catapulted at a quick rate. And even though Berwick don't have big talls themselves, at ground level they're so dangerous, and they out of the muck of their forward
take it away,
forays. They make something of it, and Berwick, first game in the EFNL, lead by 2 points, 5-10-40 to 5-8-38 over Noble Park. And we start the third quarter. Sketcher again, one of the best players on the ground, gets it going for Noble Park. Running onto it is McDonald in the forward line. He might have to become the tackler as the ball's bundled towards the boundary and out of bounds when the 50-metre arc intersects with the boundary, and it's a ball in. So, well, actually, we've had an update on the score. So it's the Bendigo Bank scoreboard in the third term of round one. first game for Berwick. They lead 5-10-40. Noble Park 5-7-37. Bouncing ball eludes Scott as the quick kick from the stoppage goes further down the line.
Yeah, so just some quick around the grounds for those who didn't catch us before. East Ringwood still hold a 4-goal lead over the Devils in a low-scoring game. Mitcham look like they're going to be 2-0. They're 6 goals up over the Devils. And Park Orchard's holding Lewdale at arm's length. They're up by 3 goals.
Saroulis gets front position over Byers. Ground level ball is in dispute. It's being paddled around. Matty Andrews is around there, but his pocket has been picked. But luckily for him, he had been dispossessed near the boundary line and it's out of bounds.
Other scores, Premier Division, Vermont back to 1 point behind ball in 8-10 plays 8-11. The Tigers in front. South Croydon by 10 goals over Doncaster. And the other games are still yet to be updated from our last update.
That is the whistle in the effects, Mike, and it's a free kick going to Byers, the Noble Park ruckman in that contest. And he'll have a shot from 55 metres out, or he'll look for options.
Such as the
it's off the ball, actually. Brash, sorry, I just wanted to break in there.
No, that's fine. Such as the tightness of this contest, a 2 or 3 goal lead either way is going to go a long way to settling this game.
58 apiece, Doncaster, East and Blackburn.
Long kick to the goal square. Vaughan in front position. He spills the overhead mark. Olwen was there. Hand pass back into a big foray of players. It's now goal bound to the line. It's just touched by the last defender. And Risley gets a fingernail to it, and only a point conceded as the quick kick went forward by Noble Park. They trail by 2 points early in the third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 38 plays 40. It's the home side Berwick leading this game.
Thomas takes the mark, chipped it up forward. That was a shocking kick in the end, taken by Marson. This time of the Anthony variety. Switches the ball inside forward 50. It's going to sit up okay here for Scott. Scott snaps around the body. Does it have enough? It does not. It's almost looked like he could have gone on a little bit with it then, or even just didn't have to really go with the snap either, Brash.
It didn't come off the boot well either, BWS. It looked like it was a bit of a shank.
So Van Hout on the right boot. Kicks it out towards the big ruckman. Thomas was in the front spot that time. Ball hits the deck. Handball over the top. Martin, he couldn't quite trap it, but had the skill to go after it again. Make that three. Make that three, you little beauty. He's a superstar, Kyle Martin. And he slams through his first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And we've only gone 3 minutes into this third term, but the Bulls, they have squared the ledger out here. No, that's what's going on here? You told me to look at Lee's scoreboard, and then the one time I look at it, it's not right.
It goes backwards.
Just
5 points is the margin, and Noble Park lead out here.
While you guys are bickering, Heathmont lead South Belgrave, Boronia lead Mulgrave, and the Basin lead Templestowe. And then all the other scores are pretty much as they were when we were talking about them in the second quarter. And very interesting though, Donny East, their reserves didn't score, but their ones are keeping touch.
He's going back in time, is Lee, with the scoreboard.
Having a dig at the reserves, Ophodia.
Yeah.
Just stating facts, Ben.
How fantastic. Martin wanted to hand pass it off, but it got smothered back into his possession, and then he just went on with it with a long bomb goal. And here he is again bending over the ball, but he's beaten it to this time. Matty Andrews mops up where no one could. He just bundles it out to that outer side. Berwick love that. Must be good real estate there because they often visit it. Now the forward ball inside 50. Who's going to get there underneath it? Thomas couldn't take the mark. Ground level ball off the side of the boot, picking himself up, but a smothered ball. Noble Park just doing well to only concede a boundary throw in as the Wickers try to get it going in their attack. They don't have a tall forward line, but they do open it up for their options. And now there's a lot of players in the arc for both sides. Disputed ball at ground level. Tackling has been ferocious and fantastic and rarely illegal. So that's a great...
Yes, Ben.
Great side. Three-quarter time out at Zerby's reserve today, and Doncaster East lead by 1 goal, and it is 9 goals 10 to 9 goals 4.
There we go. What a game. Besto down to the boundary.
On the left boot, though, coming out of the pack was Andrews, and he wanted to put it through out of bounds on the full. It goes. Sorry, he had to cut in there. Besto.
No problems at all. Steve Hughes, the Noble Park coach, a couple of quick messages at half-time. He just wants the boys to be more aggressive around the football, and he wants them to lower the eyes rather than bomb it in long.
Well, that makes sense considering they don't have the tall timber in the forward line. The kick out goes towards Byers, the ruckman, who is tall timber. But the wall of Berwick now repel it. Go inside 50. A lot of pressure on Money, who is there to take the tackle on. And he's got, because he's short, he got taken over the shoulder. And it's Money with the ball in hand, picking himself up for a shot at goal, 30 metres out.
Well, he's hardly been in the game all day.
That's soft.
Harrison Money, but now he gets a chance to redeem himself and put Berwick back in front.
The last time he got a free kick, that was 50-50. Well, his kick wasn't a great one.
Well, the umpire thought he was deserving of a free kick.
What did you think, Brash? What did you think?
It was a free kick.
Well, there you go.
Here's the Money man. Kicking towards goal, he's pulled it and he's missed from 30 metres out. He's yet to get a goal for season 2021. He's prolific for Berwick, but it's another miss. 5:11:41. Berwick trail Noble Park 6:9:45. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 6 minutes, third term.
It's crossed down boundary side to Ryan Long.
Yeah, just spoke with Clint Evans, and a couple of focus points at half-time was just keeping up the pressure. They noticed that their Noble Park's foot skills are pretty good, so if they can't keep up the pressure, they may be in a bit of trouble.
Great stuff down there. Good to see Canteen Dyson's eventually gone. Gave him 50 ages ago. As the ball comes back into play, McDonald takes the mark. McDonald. What's going on here?
Boundary throw-in.
Was that a second bite that got taken over the line? It doesn't make too much sense.
Well, that's what McDonald was talking about, but you don't really discuss things with umpires. You listen and give the ball back to him. That's what the boundary umpire said.
Well, and it was a pretty impressive boundary throw-in too, if you don't mind, as it comes out now. Elwood on hands and knees, got the handball away. Going after that time there was Burgess, barging his way through. There was Tuck. No, free kick going the way of Noble Park.
Locals aren't happy.
No, certainly not. Such a good crowd out here today. Hope you've enjoyed it. On the SEN app, if you haven't got the SEN app and you're listening on 98.1 Radio Eastern, do yourself a favour and get both, just in case.
Simulcast.
Just in case. So, Sketcher might be called to play on here, taking a long time. He's going to hug the boundary line up towards the half-forward line. Over the top it goes. It was okay there by West. Boundary umpire says, give it to me, right in front of the school bus.
You can tell, Brash, that whenever either side moves the ball quickly, the opposition defence are caught out because they're still zoning off. But once it slows down, both offences have struggled against the marking defenders.
They have.
Mooley will go up against Haynes. Ball fell short, really, in the end. A lot of players around the pill. Haynes did really well. Big man that looks like he's from Alabama. As it comes in now, Stern got the hand. Oh, it looked like he was going to get the hands. Little toe poke out wide. Didn't go the required distance. They're trying to work something out here, and eventually they do. Jordan Marston out in front takes it straight on the tip.
Do you think Haynes would be more at home with catfish?
Something like that. Something like that. Goes back to have he hasn't troubled the goal scorers today yet. Jordan Marston has presented. 9 minutes tick over to extend the lead to 10 points. Noble Park. It's a huge kick in the context of the game, really. Gets underneath it, pushes it to the right-hand side, and a big fly and a safety knockover for a minor score.
Rush behind there.
There you go, that's what I was looking for. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. What I do without you, Brash. 9.5 minutes
so
gone,
much.
Third term. Call it the Premiership quarter, and it's only round one, but 46 plays 41, Matt Fodia.
Yeah, just around the grounds. Heathmont extending their lead to 22 points at three-quarter time over South Belgrave, and as mentioned, Mooroolbark look like they're going to be comfortable winners. They lead by 8 goals over Bayswater at the similar time.
Looking all right, the Mustangs, aren't they? The kick goes down the throat this time there of Burgess, who takes it on the second bite. It held up a little bit. Sorry, I'm just stealing all the thunder here, Gav, as it goes inside forward 50. It's sat up and Money's been held.
Oh.
He's going to have a shot on goal.
That one's there?
That one was there.
So he's the expert at putting himself in front and giving an opportunity.
No.
And he has been...
Surely this time, Brash.
He's kicked 3 behinds.
3, 2, 1, bang, he kicks a goal. Straight over the goal umpire's head. And Money gets his first. And the Berwick faithful find them team back in front by 1 point.
That's one apiece, gentlemen, because Noble Park did it earlier in the game, so that's probably their 1-all in that stat, Matt.
And the key as well, we saw the ball movement, is if you can get a mark across this centre corridor side, you're out.
Yep.
Every goal that Berwick have definitely kicked this way has been when someone's managed to actually get a mark around the cricket pitch and they can get it in quick. And Money did well there. He was never going to mark it, but he did well to keep his defender away, so the defender had to impede him to get to the foot. He was actually quite smart forward craft.
I think Haynes just didn't give the ball back quick enough, said the umpire. But here's Martin taking the ruck and off the ruck's hand, drives it in forward line, running on it is Ziljai, becomes the tackler. A lot of pressure, but Arfison, he's just cool as a cucumber and finds his teammate Valla, who gets on his left foot and drives it to the half-back line, and marking it is Burgess, who had a good mark only earlier to set up a goal. And it's close to the line, but Muley marks inside the boundary.
Keep it moving, Muley.
And Muley's not a great kicker, and again, it's a wobbly helicopter, but it goes breaking into 50. Who's going to run there first? It's going to be a head-on collision, but Powell, he didn't have pass it!
Yeah.
And again, he's been holding the ball in his own defence, and again, it's going to be a shot at goal for Berwick. And this time it's in Andrews' hands.
Yeah, the big fella. What a great tackle, Brash.
Yeah,
and
it was.
that intensity, Charlie Muley, got to be moving it a tiny bit quicker each time he gets a chance. But Burgess has been really important today, playing that high half-forward role. A couple of key marks, as you said, Gav.
So Andrews is doing a bit of pointing, gesticulating, because there's a man just, exhausted, standing closer than he thinks should to. But he shouldn't be distracted, should Jordan Andrews, when lining up for goal number 2.
Crowd's behind him.
And they'll be roaring if he can get this on target. It's right, it's bending! It's just short, nearly a mark, but it's been punched over the line and just misses.
Nice work there, Gav. You were riding that home, weren't you?
Oh, leaning as well.
I miss yelling at each other.
How's your left ear there, by the way? Yeah, sorry, getting excited. This is a good game.
It certainly is exciting as Tommy Glenn for the Bulls just threw it straight down the throat there of Will Arthurson.
Yeah.
He's got Valla out wide if he wants him.
He will give it a fair old roost here. He kick it right in towards the hot spot. Oh, that is a beautiful kick. And he found Gunn, who takes the mark about 40 metres out. He's tugged up at a pretty difficult angle here, but he's going to go back and have a shot. Is Gunn the man bun?
They obviously know what they're doing, Berwick, because they persistently want to lead to the left side of the ground. So they obviously must know something.
He's kicked one. He winds around a little bit here, opens the face, kicks it across the face of goal in the end. It's going to sit up at the top of the goal square, a little slap behind, and through for out of bounds. It's hit the behind post. So another opportunity here for the Wickers. It's probably the best result that they wanted there in that instant, as the umpire throws the ball back in. Little nudge in the ruck contest. Umpire said it was okay. Diving over the top there was Powell. He did well. He's trying to make amends for the last blemish. And we'll have a ball up 20 metres out from the Berwick goal line, who currently lead this game by 2 points. 14 minutes gone in this third term out here at Edwin Plack Reserve. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Fresh air shot by both ruckmen that time. A kick off the ground. That is going to be in danger. Is it? I know. It's the other way.
And 50.
Legged.
Okay. I'd like to see a replay of that.
Or it might be the below the knees, sorry. It might be the wrong signal, but I think it might be the player diving in there, Burgess. And then,
but the guy that went below the knees got pushed down.
I agree. It was a hard one. It was an interesting call, but the 50 nonetheless.
No. Kick goes out wide for the Bulls. Struggling to hit targets. Strong tackle, Valla. You are going nowhere. And rewarded too, which is a pretty difficult call.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, the umpires are very hot on holding the ball today. It was a good tackle, but I don't know if Pryor was there.
Valla went to Money. And
he's out of change.
Berwick have owned the last 5 minutes of this game, but they have not been able to put it on the scoreboard.
Ben Marson, when he hit his teammate Byers, who unfortunately for the Noble Park fans was over the boundary line, so out of bounds on the full. True centre wing position out here in front of the grandstand. In front of our boundary riders today, Ryan Long and Brett Beston. The kick goes inside forward, 50. It holds up a little bit. Will it stay alive? No, it won't. Over the boundary line she goes.
I've got some direct intel from Walker Park, the MCG of the East. Apparently they're sold out of finals merchandise already, Brash, as they're eyeing off 2-0. the Tigers.
Good on him.
Gav Ward, he's just promoting it.
So it's Noble Park under a heap of pressure. They trail by 2 points. Muley picks it off on the wing, kicks it into his opposing number, so it bounces back towards the ring. Muley, it's like a ball that has got a little bit of weight in it, so it's rolling around like it's a long bowl, and Muley can't pick it up.
It's pretty uncommon for the Tigers faithful to get around themselves.
Oh, well, in any form of sport, isn't it?
Muley in front position, taps it forward. Not the smartest move, because mopping it up is his opposite player in Glenn. Glenn tried to share it. He likes to give and go, but luckily his teammate got knocked over indiscreetly, and it's Jordan Marsden who picks himself up with the ball. It opens up in the middle of Edward Flack. It's Bull handing it off to the runner, and it's Marsden getting it long, but it's chopped off just as it enters 50, and it's beautifully done by Arthurson. He goes out wide as they steady now. It's Risley getting a chiselling ball to half forward. The man bun gun gets the long ball. Is now
holding
Andrews,
up nicely.
but it held up before, and it's marked by Cerulis, the ruckman, who's sort of pushed forward and taken mark from 30 out.
It's been massive all day.
He's agile.
When he's been in the ruck, they've won all the hit outs, and then what Clint Evans has done well, he's not taking him off the ground now. He's noticed, Brash, that the team with the best marks inside 50 is going to win.
Yep.
And like you just said there, BWS, out of all he was the biggest man there, and he was the only one that was fleet of foot.
I just wonder if it's just held up, or is it the kick itself?
A little bit. It is holding up a tiny bit going that direction, but he read it best and
got to kick this one.
Got a chance.
From 35 out, slide angle. He doesn't make the umpire move until the very late, and I reckon there must be some sort of drifting wind here or something, but that was a minor score for Cerulis.
I'll see if Besto or Longy can throw a blade of glass in the air a la Lloydo and see what's happening.
See leave some moving. I reckon there's a wind picking up. 6:13:49 plays 6:10:46. Berwick lead at the 17-minute mark of the third.
Speaking of boundary, Besto, we saw Arthurson just come off the ground holding his right thigh. Do you want to keep a close eye on that? But no doubt you've got a comment for us anyway.
Yeah, we will keep a close eye on him. He's been one of Berwick's best. Look, the wind is just, it's not really, it doesn't feel significant down here. It's just a really light breeze. It gets up once in a while, but it is having an effect, but it really doesn't feel like a significant breeze.
Well, they're under pressure, aren't they? Bull got the handball away. Step around the body by Marsden of the bit variety. You beauty. They did it hard. They did it straight. Noble Park bounced back. 7 goals, 10:52. They've regained the lead by 3 points out here at Edward Flack Reserve. And in the third term, we've gone 19 minutes, Brash.
Yeah, Bull, Berwick owned that last 6 or 7 minutes, and just all of a sudden, it just got split open through the midfield, and that just allowed Noble Park to capitalise on a very general skill error. And once again, Noble Park have made them pay.
Agree with you, Brush, there, because Travis Tuck did an enormous amount of work to burst to a couple of tackles, swept the handball out to Valla, who's known for his run and carry, Gav, but he didn't turn, did he? Only got a left side, and he went back into traffic, and it's cost him a goal.
Is Longy down boundary side?
Yeah, just an update on Arthurson. He's getting his calves massaged on the boundary right now, so we'll keep you updated whether he comes on soon.
Oh, ain't life peachy for him.
I wouldn't mind one.
Go on then.
Well, have we got the budget as now?
Boundary.
It's boundary again.
It's not that sort of massage, boys. Clean it up.
Mine out of the gutter, Besto.
Off they go.
And we're back in play here at Edward Flack as Berwick go forward. Ground level, Matty.
Oh, good play.
Andrews again picks it up. His hand pass to his teammate, put him under a heap of trouble. And that heap of trouble was a
Oh, you've got to be kidding. That is the... Did you just see that? He threw himself in the air. It was a good effort, but throwing yourself in the air, but that is not a 50.
So,
oh, my God.
So, Bert...
he did a 180.
I'll tell you what.
It's athletic, but not a free kick.
That is definitely an Academy Award.
Oh, that's 2 in a row, 2 weeks in a row, Brash. You've got to weasel that in every week. Intense game, though, isn't it? Intense game.
It is.
Luke Ball, he's just going to share it. The last time they did this, they stuffed it up. And Walgar, if there was at least any Berwick players within 50 metres, Powell would be under a heap of trouble as he has to run back onto the ball. He's got time to short, kick it to his teammate, and they keep the ball in hand. Just do the Bulls. Marsden's got it, and this time it's Anthony Marsden who plays half back. He's kicked down the line, doesn't hit a target, and the Bulls look a little bit tired if they're not making space for the kickers. And the kick goes backward, but the pressure pressure applied by Ben Marsden.
Well done,
he causes a turnover, but it's been chopped off the hand pass.
Good second effort.
And it's Shepherd going through the middle. It's dangerous play, but Berwick take the game on. They've got a runner over the top if it bounces, and it does. And here goes the run. Can Van Hout go long? And here is Muley. Big mark by the gun of Berwick.
Come on, start Berwick and pick Berwick.
It's Tim Gunn coming in late, flying over his teammate Muley and takes the mark.
What a run by Millhouse Van Houten out here, Brash. He ran all the way from deep in defence and got on the end of it, and then a long inside 50, and the tools of Berwick are standing up.
This is part of the play why Berwick are where they are. That's premiership type football. What you just saw there, ladies and gentlemen.
We got the cheer squad behind the goals here.
And it is Premier Division of the EFNL. Berwick are in here finally, and they miss through Gunn. And he's misfiring today as Gunn, but it's only a minor score, 6-14. Berwick 50. Trail Noble Park 7-10-52.
When we send out the selected teams, do you just circle pun names? That's why you weren't even happy about the mark. You just thought I've got all these
calls
lined
Friday night.
Around the grounds, ball went up by 13 points 10 minutes into the last quarter.
That'll go down to the wire, I reckon, that game.
As you said, two new eras, but still the same rivalry, Brush.
Yep.
Doncaster East 10-10-70, Blackburn 10-4-64.
We might see a new rivalry born here today too.
Short pass, Martin. Kyle Martin screaming for some options to come forward.
Doesn't have many at the moment. Berwick have covered them all up.
They need some proton pills to Noble Park. They are...
Proton?
Yeah. Protein or proton?
No, but it's a Roger Ranjit. It's a Roger Ranjit.
I agree. They do look knackered. Berwick are running all over top of them, but as we've said all game, they need to make the most of it because they're still 2 points down, despite the feeling around the ground.
Morrison winds around on the left, kicks it up towards the Haynes direction. Over the top of his head it goes. Fairbank has been pretty quiet since that first term, but charges in, lays the tackle. That was good play. They copped the football up here. Berwick handball over the top, and they're going to get it back though. And as Graham brought to ground, and the umpire will come in and bounce the football just forward of centre for the Noble Park.
Good comment about Fairbank. Jackson Sketcher also been pretty quiet after the first quarter where he was probably the best on ground.
Yeah, true that, as Haynes went in, but he'll get the free kick. As shepherding against Cyrilus.
The way the umpire was going, he was giving it to a Berwick and then he's just changed direction.
No, I understood exactly what he did there, bro. As it came inside forward 50. That was delicious, wasn't it, that kick? And Liam Scott will have a shot on goal. He's 50 metres out, and they lead by 2 points, the Noble Park side.
The tackling is what's keeping him going, isn't it?
And Berwick have been peppering the goals. This will stem the flow if he can slot this one. He's kicked one goal this afternoon. Comes in now, he'll kick from right on 50. Over the top of it, pushed it right. It's going to sit up. It might go all the distance. Well done there by Thomas. Got the handball away. Here's Shepherd over the top. Oh, he's copped the football up. West overran it. Going in after it. Nicely done. Almost thrown out there by Andrews. Umpire said play on. Nicely done there. Shepherd kick out wide. Looking for Van Hout. Out it goes.
Brash, if that was AFL, is Matty Andrews in trouble? I think he ran past the ball.
Yep.
He chose to bump.
Thank God we don't have that rule.
Well, hopefully, I believe it's Zach Roscoe. Hopefully he's okay. He looks a bit groggy.
And in front of the
more than anything, I reckon.
And in front of the school bus. I reckon that's awesome, that out there. It comes in now. Umpire will restart it. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 52-50. 24 minutes tick over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Bus driver in The Simpsons. What's his name?
Otto.
Millhouse, Otto. We've got them all down here. Go.
High throws it up. Back over the back, and out she goes for another boundary throw-in. Great to see the fence filled with so many local sponsors out here.
I don't know about that right forward pocket though. The youngsters inside the field of play. Not sure about that.
No,
I'm sure Canteen Dyson will be wandering over later.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to start singing "Who Ate All the Pies" in a minute. If we get the handball away, here's a go for Berwick through the middle. They go squeeze to kick. That's good. Here is Gunn around the body. He goes, sits up and under. Who's going to get the front spot? What a sensational mark that was there by Morrison on the left boot. He thumps it out wide, looking for Liam Scott, who couldn't quite take it on the first bite. Goes after it again. Got the handball away just in the nick of time. He was looking for Marston over the top and charging through. Ziljai's just use his opponent to pick himself back up and give him a little, love tap on the way through.
Michael Risley's loose behind the ball. Sorry, bro.
They really are hard at the contest, Berwick. They don't never give up on it.
Haynes got the knockdown, quick kick off the ground up towards the wing position, charging it after it. It goes straight for the head that time.
It's willing.
So Ben Marston got the handball away to his brother in Geordie. Inside forward 50. Here's Fairbank. We said he's been quiet, needs to lift. Got the handball back. This is okay. Here's Roscoe into the forward pocket. It was good kick and it was a clever mark.
Yeah, that's a good
Ali
mark.
Ziljai took it on the second bite, Brash.
That was a good mark because he was under the pump there with two Berwick guys bearing down on him.
And a Noble Park guy.
Yeah, and he kept his nerve, and that's a great grab. That's a contender for mark of the day, I reckon.
A bit disappointed with Michael Risley on the wing here. He was the loose behind that contest that was right in front of us here, BWS, and didn't impact the next kick, and it's hurt them going the other way, even though Travis Tuck took someone out on his way through.
If you slots this, it's Tobin Butler's goal of the day, clubhouse leader. Biggest kick of the afternoon, difficult angle, and a classy mark to boot. Leans over it and I tell you what,
we're on a bad angle here. That's about the 7th one today we've thought's gone through.
Well, the goal umpire looked like he was going to arch his back then, which he did, but he just didn't want to take a few steps.
Well, the goal umpires are getting good behind practice today, aren't they?
Well, that left pectoral of theirs, Brash, you're getting a fair workout.
Short pass by Berwick, dangerous, being pushed over as he marked it, was Travis Tuck.
3 points is the margin too.
And that is the siren. 3/4 time here at Edward Flack Reserve. It's the home side trailing. They are 6-14-50, but it's Noble Park leading 7-11-53. 53 plays 50. The Noble Park team are leading at 3/4 time.
Still only Fairbank with 2 goals for Noble Park, whilst Travis Tuck has 2 goals for the Berwick side. Who is going to take home the 4 points today in round 1 in the Premier Division? We are out at Edward Flack Reserve. Thank you, Dyson Baker, for feeding us nicely there, because we need all the energy we can get going into this final quarter. It's sensational football stuff. SEN app, 98.1 Radio Eastern. There's 30 minutes to go. Stay with us.
And you're clear, you've got 4 minutes.
His shots from 53 inside 50s, down on...
So we've got a new out time for you. I don't know if you got my text. We can go out to 5:11 and play an ad break on the way out.
He gave the boys at half-time worked. Well, he did finish it by saying he'd shout him a post-game.
Yep, so I'll run the music up to 5:11 and then we'll chuck an ad break on. Or the other option is, if you really need it, we could drop the ad break altogether. You drop the ad break, so... No, we are the relay to SEN. This is what we do. So what I'm sending out is to the app. We've managed to get the app out to 5:15 for you. So, sorry, Radio Eastern, yes, we're not turning that off. So, well, that's right, we'll send it to them until 5:15. Yep. No worries. So, are you going to let them know, or? Great, no worries. Okay, thanks for that, sir.
Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Decided to go with the mahogany with gold handles on the side and white roses. I think that should look really elegant.
I like how you can see it all.
Tobin Brothers Funerals' latest Memory Maker app gives you more choice than ever before. With the app's newest Build Your Own feature, you can now personalise your own coffin or casket. Choose the design, the colour, the handles, the drapery and flowers to match. Download Tobin Brothers Funerals' Memory Maker app from the App Store or visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
With Bendigo Bank's new Complete Home Loan, you'll be completely taken care of. With a completely awesome rate, complete offset on fixed and variable loans, and a home loan specialist completely dedicated to you. So if you're not completely sure about the Big Four, Search Bendigo Bank Complete Home Loan or head into Bendigo Bank. The Better Big Bank. Lending criteria, terms, conditions, fees and charges apply.
Hello, I'm Peter Hitchener. 9 News invites you to join our team nightly at 6 for Melbourne's #1 news. Tony Jones with the latest sport, including the footy, plus Lavinia Nixon's weather forecast. 9 News, proud supporter of the Eastern Football League.
You've all been to funerals of family members or friends, right? Do you start thinking about what you would want at your funeral? It's a bit like when you go to a wedding. At what stage do you start planning?
Have an open and honest conversation with your loved ones. Celebrate your life the way you want, like I did with a fixed price funeral plan from Tobin Brothers Funerals. The price doesn't change and your life will be celebrated your...
1 minute.
.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
The senior coach has taken the team to Eastland for a post-game feed. If only they had this kind of teamwork on the field. They've just ordered 20 Othies for the whole table. And now Steve-O's chucked a prawn to Macca. He's circled back. Yes! Straight into his pie hole. Yo, beauty! Good form, boys. For all of life and footy's little moments, there's Eastland. Proud sponsors of the EFL. Eastland. Live real.
Okay, here we go. Mike's on.
And go local for your footy.
Welcome back to Edwin Flack Preserve here as Berwick make their debut in the Eastern Football Netball League, and their debut's going pretty well at the moment. They're down by 3 points against Noble Park. The Bulls 7-11-53, Berwick 6-14-50. The goal kickers for the Wickers, there's a single to Jordan Andrews, 2 to Travis Tuck, a single to Harry Money, a single to Tim Gunn and a single to Josh Burgess, and a lot of behinds shared about. Whilst for the Bulls, Harley Fairbanks got 2 goals, and there's singles to Jake Gaines, Zach Roscoe, Benjamin Marson, Kyle Martin and Liam Scott. In terms of stats at the moment, it's 35 inside 50s to 33 in favour of the Wickers. The tackles 29 to 24
Boundary.
with the Wickers, and the other stats are pretty much evenly matched, except the Bulls have 7 more free kicks, and I've got Brett Beston down on the boundary.
Thanks, boys. Game really on the line down here, and Steve Hughes, the Noble Park coach. Back to basics, just see those sort of 1%ers, that was the message.
Yeah, look, we try to pride ourselves on defence and pressure acts, etc. And I think Berwick's probably, it's fair to say, they've owned them for the duration of the day. We've got an opportunity to change that in the last 30 minutes. We feel like our best footy wins the game, but onus is on the players now to deliver. So
you talked about the players taking risks. What risks are you sort of referring to in particular?
We're just probably more handball receives and overlap run from behind the ball. If we can focus on that and bring each other in, we've probably just dumped the ball too long, too often, been a little bit too predictable. So if we just use those shorts and hopefully pick through them that way, I think we're probably a good opportunity there.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck, mate.
Good work down there, Besto. Quite interesting, guys. I think that Steve's pinpointed the fact that they're going to have to be pretty accurate with their ball use and actually bring the ball up the ground slowly. You can't bomb away, Gavin Brash, because unless you've got a marking centre half forward, you're not going to get the footy.
No, they don't have a marking forward, and that's, like you said, that you're right. They're going to have to run the ball and pinpoint their forward line. Berwick have been really good. Their first 3 quarters, they've shown their intent. They're hard at the contest, but when they get the ball on their terms and they start opening the play, they're equally as impressive as any side that we've seen in Premier Grade.
As we watch the mills of people just sort of swarm off Edwin Flack Reserve, we go down to Ryan Long, who was over at the Berwick huddle.
Yeah, Clint Evans was pretty happy with the pressure again at the start of that third quarter. One thing he really mentioned was the fitness that they've been doing over the pre-season. He reckons the boys have enough legs to carry the game out, and just got to hit the scoreboard. That was the main talking points.
Yep, good work down there, Ryan. Doing well in just your second game. Gav, Clint's pretty bang on the money. Should listen to us more often. Kick straight between the goals, and don't run out of legs.
Well, it doesn't look like they're running out of legs.
No way.
And it looks like Noble Park have slowed the game down. And at one stage it looked like they ran out of gas, but I think they're slowing the game down so much that they're actually handicapping themselves going forward.
Yeah, I think they did it to stop the run on that Berwick had, but then, like you said, they went too far with it. Anyway, Gav, back in the hot seat for you, mate. Last quarter here at Edwin Flack.
And it's what a big game. First game in the EFNL, but Byers rucks it and then roves it himself. He's got Martin the champ to help him out. Gets the hand passed off. McDonald gets pushed as he kicks. The ball's dropped short. Fairbank picks it up, straightens the body, but in doing so runs into a pack of Berwick players and it's smothered. Quick hand pass by Valla. Valla might get it back and almost held as he's trying to run. Lets Shepherd get onto the ball. Kicks it forward. On the bounce favours Thomas. Thomas inboard, hand pass off to a runner. And now they'll go forward. The dashing Van Hout. He'll just go and go. He's decided to kick early to the leading option. And it's a mark to Berwick inside 50. Smart option picked up by the player there in Burgess. And his kick missed as he hooked around and he hooked the ball for another minor score. Berwick electrifying, but they're not electrifying the scoreboard in a good way. 6-15-51, trail by 2 points early in this fourth quarter. Noble Park 7-11-53, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Good smother there by Berwick. Fairbank didn't take the first option.
And Josh Burgess has been very, very good here today, taking a lot of marks and presented really well, and doesn't look like he's going to run out of gas. And he's pretty much, he's working from half, he's working between the flanks and doing an excellent job.
So the kick out was just smothered out of the marking contest outside 50, and they keep it in the area, do Berwick, trailing by 2 points. This is a cracker of game because physically the tackling is on point. Sorellis takes it out of the ruck, kicks it long into a contest. Fall of the ball. Will it fall for Valla? He picks it up. He kicks a banana. When he looked out to the scoreboard, he put it on his left, but he only bent it so far that the last line mark was taken by Hillard. Hillard goes long. Punch comes in. It keeps it in the area for Berwick. It's a 3-on-3 contest. It'll spill out the way of the Bulls. Can they run onto it, or will Sorullis, who got his jumper pulled back as he was about to pick up the ball? He's forward of the centre circle, picks himself up with the ball, goes long. Long options. The flyer might come in with gun going towards it. Got underneath it when he jumped. Ground level ball, but it's Noble Park just booting out with Martin, and he gets pushed over as he kicks the long ball.
Blackburn by a point over Doncaster East. 24 minutes gone.
That's disappointing for Berwick. That's ill discipline because that would have been another repeat entry, Brash. Really, really disappointing there.
It's Fairbank taking the resulting free kick, short pass. Now the option down to Orwin at half forward, close to the boundary line. He might go inboard with one more short, or will he go inside 50? What's his next option? He's thinking about it. He goes short, too short, because the defence overwhelms the option, but coming in is the player in McDonald. McDonald can't spear the ball into a leading target, so ground level ball picked up by the Wickers. They'll get out of defence towards Tuck. Tuck under a heap of pressure, knocks it on smartly. Now the hand by Heddles gets it over to the running teammate, and Heddles might use his teammate to effect, and there's a free off the ball for holding the man behind that contest, and it'll be downfield for Muley, I think.
A couple of big results around the ground. South Croydon comfortable winners by 70 points over Doncaster. Heathmont had South Belgrave, had a 7-goal final quarter to win by 20 points over the Jets, and Baldwin win by 2 points against Vermont.
Shepherd has got the resulting free kick for being held. I think Noble Park were worried he'd get running as an overlap, but his kick's been chopped off in the middle of the ground, and now it's Zilje now can't find a target. His short pass is picked off by Arfison. His hand pass to Andrews is good. Long ball out wide to Valo underneath it. He gets spoiled before the ball gets there, but he's smart enough to hold his feet. Now he'll run away from Stern. His kick is a bit of a wobbler, but it gets to his teammate in Thomas. Thomas didn't hand pass it, and it's holding the ball.
It's high tempo.
There's been some great tackling from both sides, goal-saving tackles throughout the afternoon.
Some first-class calling there by Gav Casey as well as a kick by Gaines across. Finds his teammate there in Morrison, who's had a good game for the Bulls. Kicks up towards the wing position. Over the back it goes. Getting a fingertip to it there was Risley over the boundary line. It goes. 53 plays 51. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today on the SEN app and 98.1 Radio Eastern around the eastern suburbs. The best competition in the land. Welcome to it. The Berwick Wickers. Will they take home the 4 points today in their first game, their inaugural game in the league? It comes down now. Left boot up towards the half forward line. line, getting underneath at that time there was Morley. He couldn't quite take the mark. Charging through. There's Roscoe. He's just waiting for the handball out the back there. Hillard was in there. He's got gang tackled there. Fairbank was in there. Jonty Andrew. Love the name Jonty. Players just saying, come on boys, come to me. Throws it up now. It's 45 metres out from the Berwick goal line, taking it straight out of the ruck contest. There was Burgess, I think it was. No, it was Morley. Got a good luscious set of hair as Morley.
Envious.
Very, very good.
You can have a JWS along with a BWS.
As it comes out now, fresh air shot by both. Martin got the toe poke out of the danger zone into the middle of the ground. It might work in their favour. Darting through. Oh, really classy play there by Scott. Got the handball away just in the nick of time. Little toe poke over the top. Here's a go there for the Bulls. Here's McDonald on the right boot up towards the 50-metre line. Out in front, he's got Ziljai who just breaks the tackle. Oh, strong tackle there by Arthurson. He's my new favourite for Berwick. He's been sensational today.
He's a very, very good player who mops up, can play one-on-one like he did there, but can play as the loose man, and he's a good ball user. He's the complete package.
Ziljai could have easily run on then. They could have scored.
Try to bring it in 60 metres out from the Noble Park goal line. They lead by 2 points as the Rucks go at it, getting the front spot. Nicely done there by Cyrillis from Berwick from over the back. Ball hits the deck. We'll have a ball up around the east today. There's plenty of great games as you go local for your football. Get those final scores coming through. We need to know them. Everyone needs to know them. Pye throws it up, charging his way through. There's a lot of players following the football here. Little quick kick out by Bull. It did all right too. And just stayed inside. Nicely taken by Old Mate as well in the background with the can in hand. And he'll hand it back to the umpire.
Baronia Hawks, comfortable winners today by 90. I think it's 93 points. It is 16-12 to 3-9 against Mulgrave. So the Hawks looking good under the radar.
Yes.
Not really.
I think Ringwood's probably taken, and South Belgrave, they're the talking points.
10 metres out from goal, and there is holding the ball. Stripped of it that time, and Cyrillis just gave a little fresh air shot there. And there's a bit of argy-bargy going on, which is not uncommon out these ways, as it comes on the right boot. Kick goes out towards Andrews, who takes it. He's been good on the left boot. Little kick, you got to meet it. Van Hout got it back to Andrews. Again, the little toe poke kick hasn't hit the target. Trying to be too cute, or just doesn't have enough pepper left in the left engine. And
well, you might be right. He's coming off.
Or he got dragged. Only joking. The umpire to bring the ball back into play. Right in front of our boundary riders out there. Ryan Long and Brett Beston. Stripped of the football that time. Here's a go for the Wickers up towards the half-forward line. They go. Little look-away handball. That was sensational. Gun and up and under kick. It's going to sit alive.
Oh, no, umpire. It's a boundary umpire called out the ball.
Oh, you can't call it from 50 metres away. That was not out. That was just not. That just ruins things. I don't like it.
If it's not out, can we go to the to TV for the umpire?
The third umpire.
He's 50 metres away.
Yeah,
VAR.
On a different angle.
The arc.
Kick goes up towards the wing position. It was 4 Wickers versus 1 Bull. The Wickers handball over the top. Here they go. Running up towards Shepherd. Kicks the ball inside ball 50. Looking for the money man. He's played for the free kick out in front. Didn't get it. A kick off. A mongrel finger breaking punt kick out towards the half back line. Goes in after it. Nicely done there by Travis. Duck brought to ground strongly by Marson. It's firing up.
I was about to say the intensity is amazing because Noble Park, Steve Hughes said they want to lower the eyes. I'll tell you, he didn't lower the eyes, then Brash, the man coming out of defence of the Bulls, he just slapped it on the boot.
Yep. Well, here's another go for him. Tuck on the left boot, inside ball 50, going up to bouncing in the favour. There's been a whistle blow. Burgess, a free kick is going the way of Berwick, who trail by 2 points at the moment, and it is Burgess who will be having a shot on goal. Josh Burgess, who kicked one early in the game.
They might bring the house down if he kicks this one.
The grandstand's behind him here. 9 minutes have ticked over on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. He's going to put this one through, is he? No, he's pushed it to the right-hand side.
Is there a script we haven't read?
Burgess has kicked 1-3 today, despite being probably the best forward on the ground.
1 point is the margin. Could we have a draw? Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. As the kick comes back into play now. Straight down the throat there of the Zig, got the handball away, put his teammate under a lot of pressure there that time in Ziljai, who just kicked it straight down the throat of who I am going to say is the best on ground, Arthurson.
Your man.
Yeah. On the left boot, kicks it into the middle of the ground.
He's found his teammate in Vaughan. Vaughan's looking at options. He'll go wide to Valla. It's to his left, but he gives it before the defender comes in over the top. Valla one bounce, sparing ball. Burgess underneath, but takes the mark. Plays on from 50, sparing ball. Money leads into it. And he couldn't have bought a goal all day, but he's lining up for his second.
Burgess Brash, he's up there with Arthurson for man of the match there. He's been dynamite this quarter. He's provided an option. He's taken more marks this quarter than any other forward has throughout the game.
Most definitely. 1 goal, 3 for Harris Money today.
He's been stuck under the ball.
He's got to earn his, doesn't he, with his kick, Brash?
Oh, yeah. He's got to earn it.
He's pulled a couple of kicks from about 40 already. He'll just be 45. It'll stretch him. Not much of an angle. He trots towards goal, puts it on the right post. Is it going? And it's going further right for a minor score.
Keep going
it's
right.
a tie.
1 goal, 4.
6-17-53. Noble Park 7-11-53. 11 minutes gone, 4th term. That is the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Blackburn have won by a point, 79-78 against Doncaster East. I suppose I will come home, Nicole, as the ball gets knocked over the boundary line and out of bounds.
What a good sign for Premier Division, though. This will be the third game that'll be decided by under a kick, we assume.
Yep.
With Doncaster East and Blackie, a team who just came up, Berwick, a new side, and Vermont and Baldwin.
Well, it's just forward of centre. But Berwick at scores are level out here. Sketcher looked like he might have been held over the back there was Gunn. And he has been held up and will have a ball up. So, inching closer to the wing position here. As Mooley was in there, paddled it down. Here's Haynes. Got the handball away, the big man did well. Stacks on the mill, we're going to have a ball up here. 12 minutes tick over, Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 7-11-53 to 6-17-53.
Tuck and Risley just 2-on-1 behind the ball here, setting up for the Wickers.
Nicely spotted there by the best stats man in the business, Matt Fodia. It comes up now, it might be advantage. No, it's a free kick the way of Haynes, is it? Yep, the big man got it away to Martin. He basically just handed it to him then, and that Kyle's just run into trouble here. All the pressures is mounting, and it's almost like a stacks on old school style here.
That is very Kyle Martin uncharacteristic.
One thing that will come from this feeling, Gav, is a number of Berwick players were actually at Noble Park before 2020 was cancelled.
Quick ball on, and Madison reacts to the... Then it's now Tuck at half-back, but he gets taken down after his kick, and the tempo and the heat is just out for a moment. Valla, that is a dangerous ball, but when you kick a low burner straight to Brennan like that, that is beautiful. And now the long kick to Burgess on the lead. Gets underneath it. Powell picks it off the pack. Now runs from centre back. Long ball towards Scott. Underneath it. With two on him. He takes an overhead and stretches. And he's been taken down. So it's going to be 25.
And I was going to say, that wins games, things like that.
We've spoken all day, Brash. Noble Park need to find someone to take a mark forward of the ball, and Liam Scott's done it. And then, unfortunately, Berwick's ill discipline again. I think that's about the third 25 they've given away. And now Scott's within scoring range, and it'll hurt again. 6-17 to 7-11. If he kicks this is just going to a dagger through Berwick heart.
Good on the umpire to realise that it was a slowing down of play, pulling him down when he was trying to pick himself up to take his kick.
Going to be a hard kick to make the distance here.
That was good play by Powell. He attacked the contest and won a crucial ball and drove the ball long.
Liam Scott to get the lead back for Noble Park. Any score will do that, and he misses to the left, and it's a minor score for Noble Park, but it's a leading score for them. 7-12-54, 1 point in advantage over Berwick. 6-17-53, 13 and a half minutes gone, fourth term.
Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on the SEN app or 98.1 Radio Eastern. It's going to go down to the wire. There's no doubt about that as the kick comes in towards half-back. Strong jukes there by Travis Tuck, who takes the mark. He'll wind around on the left. He spotted up a teammate out wide in Burr. takes it on. The grandstand's right behind you. They've got the numbers. Just holding it up though was Shepherd. He goes now on the right boot up towards the half-forward line. What a beautiful kick it was. And here's Burgess on the right boot this way, that way. He kicked it straight into the opponent's throat there in Marston. Goes after it again, brought to ground there by Byers. And the crowd are getting right into this one. And it's a free kick away to the Bulls. Who gives it away to Bull? No pun intended. It's just his name as it goes out to Marston up towards the middle of the ground. Here he is, the man of the moment, Arthurson. He coughed it up though. He'll go after it again. Bunched his way through. Got it across to Andrew, across the half-forward line, backwards to go forward. Across now. They have got the numbers. The kick goes inside forward 50 by Burr. Who's going to be the flyer? What a sensational mark it was. Going up, Jake Gaines against it all. The pressure on that mark is sensational.
Why? I don't know why Anthony Burr burnt Vella there. Vella's on his left foot, Gav. He's running into the 50 in the clear, and he wheeled around, kicked to a 2-on-2.
The worst one was Burr just trying to get on his right foot.
Yeah, exactly. But what a smother. Not sure who that bull was, but that could be a game-saving smother.
Because he had two men running on the left, including Andrew, who would have run it.
Never U-turn. That's what I got told when I was 14.
And he tricked every player he could have kicked it to, and he eventually got the ball smothered.
Morrison kicked it out wide down the throat of Tommy Glenn. That was good. Sold a little bit of candy. Squeezed to kick up the line, but he copped it up straight away.
The ruckman.
So he's the agile ruckman, we've called it. Jesse Cirillis. Screaming for some teammates to present across the half-forward line. He kicks it up towards the school bus. The big fly over the back that time. Couldn't be brought down there by Risley. They're still alive here. Thomas got it away to Risley. Risley got it away to Heddles. Heddles spun on a throop. Heddles kicks towards goal, but he pushed it wide and it went out of bounds on the full. It's still a 1-point ball game out here. 16 minutes gone, final term.
In this last quarter, Berwick look like they're the only side that can score. Noble Park have hardly had the ball inside their 50.
The Bulls are still in front, Brash.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Boundary.
Let's go boundary side, Brett Preston.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Brash. Berwick have got all the run. They've got the crowd behind them. Noble Park looking flat. It's like they're just trying to hang on here.
But they're doing it well. They're hanging on. They're slowing down play now with ball in hand. And Mark's been taking it half back. The umpire had to tell him, you've got to play still. And so the play on position goes to the wing. And in position, Cirulis gets spoiled as he tries to mark it. And it's out of bounds. I don't think Noble Park are going to take any risks. They're going to slow it down. And if they can see if possession football can at least get them to hold on.
Well, then Liam Scott's going to be key because he's about the only one over 6'2" in their forward half that can take a grab, and he's going to have to push up the ground.
Big ruck contest, Byers and Cirulis. Cirulis gets to the front, knocks it forward of the pack. Noble Park have actually got their numbers there. Alwyn's there to get the handball received, gets it off to the runner. Now, where's the next play going to go as Hillard runs himself into trouble, is holding the ball. What tackling by Berwick. Go quick to play on, too quick, and the rush ball. Where will it spill? Stearns in there for the Noble Park. So is the Berwick. Got some players around it. Andrews can't pick it up. He goes off the ground, kicks it. Was it in danger? The umpire said, even though there wasn't a player there, the kick off the ground when there's so many.
I don't know if it was in danger.
These blokes are absolutely knackered. Matty Andrews just fell flat on his face there just from pure exhaustion. There was no one around, Brash. He was just done.
So it's Hillard at centre back. Bit of slow movement as they go to the wing. Cirulis is underneath it. Martin takes the ball, but he's taken high as he grabs the ball. So he'll take the free kick, and he's doing a bit of a hamstring stress. Martin picks himself up, gets the ball out to Alwyn on the wing. Alwyn's got another short.
Nice.
And it's played to Ziljai. Ziljai goes long, 1v1. Haynes in good position in the back line. He nearly shepherds it through after pushing off his opponent, and it hits the post for a minor score. And it's a minor score that extends the lead for Noble Park.
That should be 25 metres as well.
As Haynes picks the ball up and kicks it through for a goal that was never, because it was already a score.
It actually should absolutely be a 25-metre penalty for booting the ball.
Because everyone knows the rules. It hit the post. It's not like it was...
But the game's off, so I know. He's not wasting any time.
I agree, but Ben's right. In terms of the fact that you don't have to wait for the goal umpire anymore, Berwick could have easily got out the other side. It's the same time wasting that was penalised before.
Correct. So the kick goes now. A big flyer. Alwyn he held strong there. Riding him there was Shepherd, but the Zeg, he's a big game player. Calls a cucumber always. Spots up his teammate. Ziljai. 60 metres out from goal. Spearing in. And that was very classy. Stern had a good look at it and took the mark.
We'll have a Stern look at the goals now.
He'll be here all week, everybody. Gap Casey.
Quite literally, because we're going to leave him behind if we keep running with him.
Comedy Festival finishes this weekend, mate.
No, I'm at the Town Hall tonight. That's how good it's going.
Oh, yeah.
Berwick Town Hall, it's a big one.
So Josh Stern, let's get back on track here because they lead by 2 points. Noble Park, 45 metres out. He keeps it low, he keeps it straight. That's an absolute beauty. What a great goal that was, Josh Stern. And Noble Park by 8 points as we hit time on in the final term out here at Edwin Flack Preserve.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side to Brett Beston.
Yeah, the Noble Park bench has absolutely gone off. They know how important that is, and it's now a 2-score game, and Noble Park looking good now to take this game out.
Final scores are coming through.
They are, but in terms of stats, Berwick have dominated this quarter, leading the inside 50s. Their tackle counts are even, considering how much play they've had. They've had more marks inside 50. They're winning the clearances, and yet Noble Park have kicked 2 goals, I think it is, to 1. So that's just been the story of the day. Noble Park's just experience and class has come out.
Muley versus Byers. They need this centre clearance as we tick past into time on in the 4th term. First effort for Berwick in the EFNL. They trail Noble Park by 8 points. It spills out of the pack. Can McDonald pick up the ball? He can't. And it's a contest for the ball out of the back of the pack. Nice by Brennan to dodge one and invade. Hands it over to Shepherd. Shepherd goes out wider and Gunn runs into the mark at half forward. Looks at options like Thomas. Might go longer into the pocket where Money leads wide on the bounce. He gets to it. Has he got space to work? No, he doesn't. And the boundary line is out of bounds.
In terms of scores, Mooroolbark 60-point winners